Okay, we're up.
I don't see him, no, but man, the prices are cheap.
Oh.
How much is a burger? Like 10?
Well, this one is.
You got to change. You don't have me up.
Is 14.
You don't have what, Dano?
Tom doesn't have me up there.
Test.
There.
It's 14 for the club and for a brat. For a burger.
Probably with fries and shit.
Yeah, with everything. But chicken salad and tuna salad are only $7 each. Cobb salad's only $11. Double eagle.
Show start in a minute, guys.
Hey, look at those dates. Let's reply to Kenny quick as we can for the,
For what? What do we have to do?
Look at the dates that she said. I think it's perfect. You go the 26th, and Suzanne and I will go in one of the later dates.
He's talking.
With one download,
Okay.
you can search and browse privately.
Got about 15 seconds. You're mute.
Take back your privacy online.
Did you say he's moot?
Moot.
A moot point.
Troubleshooter 4, The Situation with Michael Brown. All right, 10 seconds. Here we go. Have a great show, guys.
Okay. Gotcha, brother.
I wonder if any of you ever had difficulty eventually getting back to such mundane matters as budget meetings, snow removal, and, potholes.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Martino, thank you for being here. The show brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. Put Tom in the promo code, get 25% off CBD products that work for pain, anxiety, anti-inflammatories from Panacea Life Sciences, RealCBDThatWorks.com. Yesterday we had quite a discussion. We'll continue right now because we have the man involved. And then we'll go to Bryce, who wants to talk about leasing. Jody wants to talk about a whole house fan. Larry wants to talk about uninsured motorists and how it works. Please, guys, stay on the line. I will get to you. But, man, we came across some stuff that was hard to believe. In the news, right in our backyard, Colorado Springs, covered by KRDO First, and that's our sister station down there that carries the show. Hello, everyone out there from KRDO. You can listen to us on affiliates. You can also listen to us in Denver on our flagship station, KHW, and, of course, YouTube, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. Justin Montney, he was engaged to be married. And he went out to plan the wedding with his fiancée, and they were ready to get married, I believe, last weekend. She was killed in February. I can't even imagine that pain. Oh, goodness gracious. It was probably so painful. He was unwinding things, and vendors were cooperating. They were giving money back, and he comes across Copper Stallion Media, and this guy, and he figures, okay, I just want the refund of the $1,800. You're not going to be doing the show. I know it's non-refundable, but it's not like we canceled. Most likely, COVID would have interfered anyway. Plus, Justin, really, the truth of the matter is the guy probably wouldn't have ever come anyway, even if you had your wedding, because, as you know, we and everyone else in the media researched this clown. And he's been doing this since the early 2000s, ripping people off, taking deposits, and never showing up. So, Justin, I want to ask you a question. How did you find this clown?
Oh, well, we were actually looking on the Knot. We were looking on the Knot, which is just a really popular wedding website, and they had pretty good reviews. We saw some of the footage that they had on their website, and I guess apparently a lot of their footage was actually stolen from other videographers.
Yeah.
And just between the reviews and the footage, we thought it was a great deal, you know?
Yeah, of course. Now, first and foremost, I just want to say my heart goes out to you. How are you doing?
Oh, doing not too bad. Just, like you said, kind of picking up the pieces and taking things day by day. I know I never expected any of this to happen and any of this to, I guess, happen with the media, and so that's something that's a new part of my life that I've never expected to have, but, hopefully it comes, some good comes out of it. And
now, Justin, were you guys college chums, you and your fiancé?
Yeah, we met in college out at Fort Hays State University.
Okay, so you decide to get married, and what's your connection to Colorado Springs?
She's actually a native of Colorado Springs, so
okay.
She went to Widefeld High School.
How are her parents doing?
Oh, I mean, I guess we're all kind of in shock still in some ways. I know her family she was so close to her family, and they really loved her, and so it's been very tough on them as well.
Now, you knew nothing about this, or you weren't with her at the time. What happened? What happened? We don't know what happened exactly. It sounds tragic, but how did you find out?
I had gone to work that morning, and we were both living in Topeka at the time. And so she was traveling back from Colorado Springs, and I just kept thinking that she'd be home soon, and I actually had my cell phone was out of service, and so I actually just had started my service back up, and right after I did that, I got the call, and I was just shocked, and I didn't really know what to do, and I kind of just couldn't function for about a week or so. I mean, probably 2 weeks even, and then I tried to email Copper Stallion after I finally started to be able to do a couple things on my own, and obviously that didn't go very well. So
did you ever talk to him, or was it all email?
So anytime I tried to reach out, I guess they primarily only talked to us over email, and I said, hey, I just really want to talk to somebody on the phone. Please, please, please let me see talk to someone on the phone. I bet we can work this out. I know this is probably something that, we can bend the rules a little bit or something, at least, work together on this and, see what we can do, or at least just let me talk to anyone. And if you called their phone number, a robot would say, oh, please just email copperstallionmedia@gmail.com, or please just go onto the website and post what you want to talk about in there, and we'll get back to you.
What did he say, or what was the response from them when you asked for a refund?
Basically, they said, so sorry to hear about this. Unfortunately, our contracts are non-refundable. Best wishes. And that was the initial reply. And then, of course, I just assumed, maybe they think I'm, trying to fake or whatever, just trying to get my way out. And so I sent not only the news story, but a picture of the death certificate, just, saying hey, because of that, and her name was on the contract, which I don't think this contract was legitimate by any means, but her name was on the contract. And so at the time I was saying, hey, her name is on the contract. I just want to, call somebody on the phone. Let's talk about it. Cause I feel under a lot of clauses, if one party on the contract dies, then usually that contract becomes void. Or in this case, if the whole contract is for the purpose of a wedding, then clearly the party is going to be unable to have the wedding. And so the contract becomes void that way. So I don't know. It was.
It wouldn't have mattered, Justin. I mean, really, come on. The other ones didn't hold you to details. I mean, this is a really weird event. I mean, this is a tragic event. Somebody dies. Even if you did sign a no, you know what I mean, a no refund. You shouldn't have to look for a trick. He shouldn't make you jump through hoops. It's just. It's just human nature. I mean, have some compassion, for God's sakes. This was weird. But this is what I can't believe. I just can't believe it. When was your wedding supposed to be?
It was on May 23rd was when our wedding date was.
The 23rd. Okay, and then you wake up to a tweet. Is this true? I can't believe it. He posted, I guess this was Twitter or Instagram. No, Twitter, right?
Facebook.
Today would have been the day where we would have filmed Justin and Alexis' wedding in Colorado Springs. After what Justin pulled with the media stunt to try and shake us down for a refund, we hope you sob and cry all day for what would have been your wedding day. And then it says, sorry, comma, not sorry. Were you enraged? What was your reaction to that?
I think, honestly, at that point, it had almost become normalized because he had already been threatening to sue everyone that had been leaving reviews on the Knot. He had already photoshopped a picture of me and made a website in my name to try.
I know he did. Yeah, he has since taken down the insults, but he had the nerve to say life's a bitch. I mean, oh man. So anyway, Justin, we have been as everyone has after this guy. Have you heard anything since the most recent barrage of publicity?
I mean, no, not really.
Nothing new.
Really, nothing that, well, there's been lots of people that have been coming forward to me with more and more information, but it still seems like he's, maybe fleed his, past address in Nevada. He's maybe traveled to Colorado, and he's, on the run again, and he's just going to set up shop again somewhere and get on the internet and do it all over again.
Do you know he was sentenced to a mental hospital?
Yeah, and that's really concerning considering that, I don't know what he's planning to do in Colorado, but that's where her family's from, and you don't want him to do anything crazy in that aspect, especially to anyone in person. So. Yeah.
So, like I said, this is a warning for people, though. You need to check people out before you hire them. Just a little digging on this man's name brought up nightmares. And Justin, our heart goes out to you, as I said. We just can't believe what happened to you. And then after that, the insult you had to endure. And obviously, if there's anything we can do, let us know. We are continuing our pursuit for this guy. He's basically, Justin, he basically put the last nail in his coffin. This guy will never work again. I mean, how do you get over it? No one will forget this guy. No one. And I know your intent wasn't to do a media barrage, was it?
No, I just told one friend about it, and then they are the ones that posted it on Facebook, and his one post blew up faster than anything I could have imagined, So, yeah, it was never my intent to barrage him on the media.
So, are you going to stay in Colorado, or are you going to go back home, or what are you doing?
I'm going to stay in Topeka, but I'm looking to maybe become a college professor someday. And so the tricky part is now that he's went through and apparently made this website where it states all these terrible things that I've quote unquote done with fake voicemails and a lawsuit pending apparently or whatever. I don't want that to affect my career goals.
Oh my good, he put it back up again. It was down yesterday. I just looked at this. He put up a terrible photo of you. Looks like it was photoshopped.
It sure was.
Your eyes. And then alligate. Oh, so he's back on the... I can't believe it. Yesterday it was just a video up there and he had taken all the insults down. It's right back up there again. Right back up there again.
He thinks that if he takes it up and puts it down, then, people can't quote it in their news story. And it's like, well, that's dumb,
Where is it? It's called Justin Montney. It's MONTNEY wedding.com. And people, and Justin, people are going to know this guy's a nut. They're going to know he's a nut. But man, is this guy a jerk. Holy cow. And the fake tweets, they're so mean, the stuff he puts up. Anyway, you don't have to worry about this. This is not going to get in your way. As soon as they research who this guy is, it's incredible. This is, freedom of speech, but this guy is a nut. He is a nut.
I wouldn't trust him to not, open up a new one under a new name. So people just need to really look for his name.
They need to research.
Absolutely.
And Justin, like I said, stay in touch and let us know if there's anything we can do if you find this guy or know where he is. We appreciate you being on. I just wanted to share your story again because it is so unbelievable to me. And good luck to you. And as I said, there are no words, really, no words.
And Tom, are you going to put him on Sleaze Brigade?
Oh, this guy for sure, man. We're never forgetting this guy. And we're talking about $1,800 too. And first of all, he wasn't going to do the wedding anyway. That's the bottom line. He would have never done that wedding anyway. The guy I don't think he has done a wedding. Anyway, we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Put the site back up. I can't believe it. He put the site back up.
An energy-efficient home pays off in both hot and cold weather. And now Rocky Mountain Retrofoam is offering low-cost home energy audits for just $175 after your XL rebate. You'll get a complete audit, including blower door test and thermal...
Shows malice.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, the failing news station.
Yeah.
Don't know when he got that when he said it.
Okay. Yeah, but they'll think this is what that he's the bad guy.
Wait a minute. Well, then don't put it up. When we're talking about the website, though, you fucking people are going, where?
Or watch this incredible foam in action. Foam, your walls stop.
Okay, well, I can put the.
That's what you tried to tease?
I'll do it on Facebook.
720-676-6333. Just $175 to save you.
We will never refund.
720-676.
Well, that's, you know, that.
I sent it out there, so they got it.
And getting out of the market right now? Hi, I'm Rick Edelman with 4 quick questions before you do. Do you have a diversified portfolio? Is your personal situation and are your long-term financial goals unchanged?
Is this wedding photographer? Is this a fake story here?
And do you have sufficient
I don't know.
What is this?
I don't know. I don't think he would. I don't think he could fake that, right?
Change your investments. But if you didn't answer yes to all 4, then call us right here at Edelman Financial Engines right now. If you're not properly positioned to weather this storm, you could be at risk. We've helped thousands of people just like you get through wild markets just like this one over the past 3 decades. And we can help you get through this crisis too.
It's amazing.
If you're at all uncertain, call us at 888-PLAN-RIP. That's 888-PLAN-RIP. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's brycedelman.com.
Or you can do.
Call us right now.
Hi, it's Mandy for my friends at Bell and Pollock. I know these guys. They're real. They genuinely care about.
He wouldn't have cut. The problem is he wouldn't have done it anyway.
He's got all 1
The
star.
smear campaign started. He says we received over 75 1-star reviews.
Good. He's lucky he got.
Well,
The
good.
same for Yelp.
Real estate question, get it answered. Consumer
What's this here?
shows,
A phone
Saturday,
call?
8 a.m.
People are fucking disgusting.
This is
You should refund that fucking company. Just be Motley. Lost is fucking right. There's no wedding that you are going to be able to go to. You stupid fuck. You're not putting anything forward. You're not going to be willing to fucking photograph anything. You're not.
So this was somebody who called and was pissed.
Why the fuck do you still need that money?
No, man.
That's one of the voicemails that were
I
left.
understand it's non-refundable, but have you guys ever heard of decency? at all?
Decency. These are people calling in.
Your company burns to the ground. You go to hell.
They're on that
Man,
website.
people are pissed. I'm glad people are pissed.
Yeah, of course they should be.
This company fucking sucks, and all the people that own it are fucking ugly. They're just fucking retarded. I can't wait to watch your company burn to the ground. Unless you get like a bunch of shitty reviews about the company everywhere. So, there's that. So much fun
I
watching.
guess I should get all of this companies and put them up.
What fucking business?
Hey, we want to get back to the story that we started to bring you earlier in the show. A wedding photographer in Dallas has now won more than $1 million from a couple who blasted her business online. Here's David Goins.
I think all business owners are sitting ducks. We're all scared that something like this is going to happen.
Andrew Polito spent 13 years
Yeah.
in the tight-knit world of shooting wedding
This is
photography
not
in
the
Dallas.
same.
A lot of people knew my name, and I knew a lot of people.
She says one bride and groom changed all of it.
I was completely humiliated.
According to a civil lawsuit, newlyweds Neely and Andrew Moldovan contacted the media and made up a story about not receiving a wedding album they believe they were entitled to. One saying, quote, "She gave me AIDS. Photos were okay. 2 stars."
And I just...
False information.
Online bullying.
During a week-long trial, attorney Dave Wishnu showed jurors the planning that went into screw them over.
Yeah, this is a totally different case. This guy's trying to make himself out to be. God, what a piece of shit he is. God, piece of shit. Isn't he?
Yep.
I think he's misunderstood.
Do you see what I left here?
What do you say?
You are, this is what I left. Hey,
Yeah.
you are a waste.
The skin in the water, yeah.
You waste
What
skin in the water.
What review did you, how much, 1 star? What would you give him?
No, this was on his LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
You are the height of scumbags. Hi, Tom, I missed it.
That's what he said?
No, that was another guy.
Can't we all just get along?
Who put that?
No, I'm just saying.
You know, I got a call yesterday from somebody was having a problem with the VA. I called the number. The guy got back to me, believe it or not.
The VA guy?
Yeah.
Great.
Hi,
Okay.
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Frank Duran, the real estate man. Free market analysis, and he will really do it with no obligation. Seriously, if you want to know how your house will sell, he's getting multiple offers and still selling homes at a brisk rate. Multiple offers selling. He says he's had, listen to this, his average time has been, he's sold in as little as 24 to 48 hours, and then to a few weeks. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Larry, welcome. You want to talk about uninsured motorists. I'm happy, Larry, because a lot of people do not understand how UMUI works. UMUI is called uninsured motorists, underinsured motorists. Go ahead, sir. What was your question specifically? What happened to you, Larry?
Well, you framed it about as good as I can. I'm wondering, when do you really need it?
Okay, and here's the biggest misunderstanding. People think it's going to fix their car, and it's not. Let's say you get into an accident with someone who does not have insurance, and your car's wrecked. It does not fix your car. Let's say you have medical bills. It doesn't pay your medical bills. And that's the big misunderstanding. That's why people need what's called MedPay. That's a coverage that you get, only a few bucks a month. And what that does is give you up to a certain amount, like I think 15 or 25,000 in immediate medical payments, regardless of fault. So no matter what happens, you're covered or your passengers are covered under MedPay. When it comes to property damage, which is your truck or your car, that would be done under your collision coverage. Now, there is an uninsured property damage coverage you can buy, and that is a very specialized coverage for people that have older cars. They can't afford really to get regular collision, but they want to get something in the event someone hits them with no insurance. It's called uninsured property damage. But most people do not get property damage uninsured motorist coverage when they get UMUI. What they get is what's called personal injury insurance. So, Larry, let's say you get into an accident with me and you sue me for pain and suffering. Do you know what pain and suffering is in the eyes of the law? It's not your medical bills. It's not your car's damage. It is for your pain and suffering. It would be emotional trauma. It would be loss of income. It would be loss of activities you normally do. It could be some depression. It could be you can't work out anymore. It could be inconvenience. It is, now you do have in personal injury, you do have both economic and non-economic losses, except it doesn't cover the car and medical bills. So, Larry, let's say you and I get into an accident. You sue me, and either me or my insurance pays you the pain and suffering. You lost a vacation. Your wife and you are not getting along because you're injured and something, and she has to wait on you, and your whole life has gone to hell. But let's say you get into an accident with someone who does not have insurance. The pain and suffering part is the part that your uninsured motorist pays. It would be like if you were going to sue someone, but there's no one to sue. You then go against your own company, and they become the straw man in place of the person who injured you. Does that make sense to you, Larry?
Yeah. So I have a, if I don't take it, and the other and you don't have the insurance, I can go back on my insurance company.
For the pain and suffering only, not for medical bills, and not, well, you can go for medical bills with a separate coverage called MedPay, not uninsured motorist. Uninsured motorist only pays for pain and suffering if you go after it. Not all accidents have pain and suffering. So, Mark, let's give an example of an accident once that you had that you got a pain and suffering settlement. Give me an idea of how much it was.
Well, one of them $50,000.
Okay. Now, that was not your medical bills, right? That was for loss of work and different things, right?
No, total payout. The maximum that policy paid out was
I know,
$50,000.
but it wasn't for. They didn't pay you for your medical bills or for your car or for anything like that. It was called pain and suffering, and so. That part. Now the other guy may have had liability that fixed Mark's car, but pain and suffering was paid by that other party. Now, if that party was uninsured, Mark, you could have still gotten that $50,000 from your own company under uninsured motorist. So
I think a better example is if they only had $50,000 in coverage or the state minimum at $25,000, and there was $200,000 in pain and suffering. I would get $25,000 from their company, and then I'd go after my own company for the difference.
That's right. That's why they call it uninsured, underinsured. So that's a good point too. So it's not just for uninsured people, Larry. It's for underinsured people. But you keep saying, okay, so I can go after my company, but only for the pain and suffering part. Now, do you have an accident you have in mind, Larry?
Thank goodness no, but I've covered it. I haven't taken it all these years because I figured I took enough in liability and personnel, $300, $500, and plus a umbrella insurance.
Right, but that won't cover. Umbrella won't pay you pain and suffering, and neither will your liability. Your liability is for others. So again, and really, Compass Insurance Group can explain this to you, good people, and also John Fuller Law. He answers questions for people, and he's a personal injury attorney. But again, everyone listening, you think uninsured motorists will pay for your car. It will not. You think uninsured motorist coverage will pay your medical bills. It does not. Uninsured coverage only pays for the pain and suffering you would have gotten if you sued for pain and suffering. Now, when Mark went after that other party, or John Fuller went after him for Mark, that $50,000 may have included like he said, it may have included other stuff like medical bills and all that, but the pain and suffering part of it would only have been, that's the only part that would have been covered by underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. All right, Jody, welcome to the show. What is happening with you, Jody?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Jody.
Okay. Well, the other day you talked about whole house fans.
Mine's on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had never even heard of it before. I'd never heard of those before. But I was going through hell trying to figure out, because I live in a house that has 2 furnaces and two air conditioners.
Okay.
I really don't know why, but I do.
Okay.
Anyway, and they're 20 years old and they need to be replaced. I've had 3 people come out and give me estimates. And they're all about the same, about $10,000.
For all 4? For 2 airs and 2 furnaces?
No. I got 2 furnaces about 4 years ago.
Okay, and to replace the 2 air conditioners, it's $10,000?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so hold on, Jody. Hold on. I don't want you to run out of time. I'll explain to you what the whole house fan will do and what it won't do after this. None again?
Oh, man. Tom, I think you're wrong.
You mean in the next break?
Yeah, next break.
All right. Martinez, I got to feed my kids.
Looks like
30 KH.
Tom, I think you're wrong. Look at this.
He's definitely wrong.
Now, impact traffic.
Okay, the funeral expenses, that's pain and suffering. Loss of income is pain and suffering, and pain and suffering.
Medical expenses.
I know, but they're kind of wrong.
Well, what it says here, if yours doesn't cover it all, if the other person's doesn't cover it, they have minimal, it will step in and cover it.
Yeah, well, that's under the underinsured, but really, it's truly a little misleading there. We can ask John. It's a little misleading. It does, like, for example, if you only had medical expenses, I do not believe you can go after them for it.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
If you had, like, for example, let's say it's a kid and he's going to be in and out for fucking 10 years. I mean, they could get $500,000 or whatever you have.
What does he mean? What do you mean?
If it went for 10, whatever, if it had a lot more and stuff, you could get whatever up to the maximum medical bills.
We're going to be $500 million, and they only had $50,000 in coverage. You could go after your own company for the remainder.
Okay, underinsured, yes. But for pain and suffering settlements, it normally does not include, the pain and suffering does not include medical bills usually.
Yes, but that 50, if someone's got a limit like those people that hit us of 50 grand,
right.
That 50 grand is all encompassing.
Right. That's why.
But that's a settlement. We can ask John, but truly, uninsured motorists is for pain and suffering.
Let's get John on there.
Yeah, because here, this is Geico, and it says very clearly, medical, funeral, loss of income, pain and suffering.
Now, here's where mine was weird, because it was, they hit us and somebody else, and the other person got 50, and I got 50, so they had
100.
50 per, God, I don't even remember how it reads.
For medical or for
But Mark, underinsured is a little different. Underinsured just means underinsured on anything, except for collision.
This wraps them up. Uninsured and underinsured is all the same policy.
What's that?
This wraps it up. If it's uninsured or underinsured, they're all wrapped up in the same thing.
I want to clarify with John Fuller.
What did you have on your Ferrari? Because that's underinsured property damage.
Yeah, you get John Fuller on so I can clarify something. I don't want to give out misinformation.
Don't you want Compass? Or
no.
Jim?
He's the one.
What's it about?
It's about underinsured. It's about uninsured and underinsured coverage. What's that?
He asked what you do in your Ferrari. I told him not to worry about it. No. What you have in your Ferrari? You must have had underinsured.
Well, I always have that.
Right.
I always have that.
Right. He always has it.
I have.
No, my point is there a difference? Because you keep going back to medical bills and personal injury. Is property the same?
No, those are two separate policies.
Jesus Christ. That's what I'm asking. What was the coverage on your Ferrari?
Oh, it was, you mean the dollar amount?
No, what I'm saying is, if someone fucking wrecked your car, chances are they only had 25 grand in insurance.
Right. I had collision coverage that... Collision coverage.
Uninsured property damage.
No, it wouldn't be. It would be collision coverage.
Oh, he had collision also, but if you had... Okay, your collision, if you have collision, you don't need it for the property damage because...
You can't have collision and uninsured property.
Right. Well, that's
liability.
That's liability, yeah.
I know that sounds too good to be true, but it is true.
That's what you have to have. Everybody has to have that.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is most people only have 25.
Right. That's right, Mark. They don't have enough to fix the Ferrari. So what I would do... Yeah, but what would happen is I would put in a collision claim.
You would put in a collision.
Right.
And then they would go after their liability and then go after the individual possibly.
These days, being a small business means navigating.
So what you're saying is you can have collision and uninsured property damage.
Really? You can't have both?
Right.
Not uninsured property damage, no, because they make you go to your collision.
Right, okay.
Because you're double covering.
Yeah.
Also see stories about small businesses making a difference. So let's get through this together. Visit iHeart.com.
And you know, actually, I have never once heard of anyone who had uninsured property damage. I just hear it exists. You do? Then you don't have collision coverage. Oh, okay.
Extreme offers unmatched durability with authentic designs and a guarantee you expect from a high-performance floor.
Why don't you have collision coverage?
Because it wasn't worth it.
How old is it?
9 years old.
Huh?
9 years old.
It is? You sure it's not worth it? That's still a good car, right?
Probably it's only worth probably what? $7,000-8,000.
Visit a Carpet Mill Outlet Store's location near you.
What's the whole car worth right now?
I can look at it. I'd say about 7,000-8,000. I'll put it up.
How much?
7,000-8,000.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more.
Newsmax TV's Chris Salcedo Show. Also on Newsmax TV, see Mike Huckabee, Michelle Malkin, Herman Cain, Sean Spicer, Greg Kelly, and more. Find Newsmax TV on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Fox, Spectrum, Optimum, Uverse, Fios.
All right, 10 seconds and we are back on.
10 seconds, you're muted.
And tune in now. Everyone else does.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I want to correct something if I was wrong, because it is a confusing topic, and I want to go over this with John Fuller, a personal injury attorney. And the reason I go over it with John and not our insurance people, John is the one that actually fights for the coverage. He'll go out and he'll go after people for what coverages they have, or they instruct you on what coverages you have that you can go after. And I think that's the better source of information for this particular topic. John Fuller, Fuller Law, a personal injury attorney. And I say he gives free legal advice when you need it the most, because he does. And if he decides to take your case, you decide to hire him, then it's on a percentage fee basis of what he collects. I'll give the number out after the call, so if you want to copy it down. But John, I just want to forgive us for being very basic, but I want to do this only because we all, it's confusing and not everyone can know everything. So let's go over it. We all know then, liability coverage that we carry is for our liability doing damage to others. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Then we also have collision coverage on newer cars or financed cars, and that covers our car, right? Yeah.
That covers our car for damages, whether or not we're at fault is it's not fault dependent.
But the other person's liability will also cover our car. But we don't have to wait for that. We can go through our collision and they can subrogate, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Either one.
Now comprehensive insurance. That's not collision, but it does cover the car. But it's not collision coverage. What's comprehensive coverage?
Comprehensive is anything other than an accident. It could be theft. It could be, a lightning strike. It could be a tree falling on it. It's kind of anything other than getting in a car wreck.
How about hitting a deer? Is that collision or comp?
I think that would probably fall under comp.
Okay. Now,
sure. The reality is most people don't have one or the other.
Now, I gave out some information on
coverage, and
I gave out some information on uninsured motorist coverage, saying that it's the coverage you would have that would stand in the place of someone else. If that someone else at fault did not have insurance, then you would go after your own insurance for certain losses. And I said for pain and suffering only. I said it wouldn't cover your car, and I said it would not cover your medical bills. But apparently, according to some of the stuff on the internet here, it does cover medical bills. Let me just ask you, what does uninsured motorist coverage cover when the other person doesn't have insurance?
Okay, so the easiest way to think about uninsured motorist coverage is that the uninsured motorist carrier stands in the shoes of the uninsured driver. So anything that the other driver would be held liable for, and we're not talking about the car damage here. We're talking about all of the economic, non-economic, wage loss, pain and suffering, everything that you would normally go to the other driver for, you can collect from your uninsured motorist
so that
carrier.
would include then medical bills.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's important.
John, how about the car, though? You said except for the car. What happens if it was a Ferrari, for example, or a really expensive car?
Doesn't matter. It would come back on your comp or collision or the balance to make it up. And there is something called UMPD, or uninsured motorist property damage. It's largely redundant. Here's the way to think about what it is. If you have comp and collision, you don't need property damage coverage because it's the same thing. It's going to cover you anyway in the event that an uninsured driver. And folks, listen, the minimum coverage for property damage in Colorado is only $15,000. When have you ever seen a new car that you can buy for less than $15,000? You can't. So about half the people out driving on the streets of Colorado don't have enough property coverage to make you whole in the event that you're driving something worth more.
Very good point. Very good point. And that's where if your car's older and you don't want to carry collision, you can get something called uninsured property damage for those rare events, not rare actually, but when somebody hits you and doesn't have enough coverage to fix you.
Or if someone hits you with no insurance.
All the time. And that's a great example of when UMPD coverage is really applicable. If, let's say you have an older car, but it's worth $7,000 or $8,000, $20,000, something, that you just don't want to carry full coverage on it, by all means, get the UMPD coverage. It's uninsured motorist property damage coverage. That will cover you in the event that you get hit by somebody that has no coverage or minimum coverage.
Okay, so John, I want to reemphasize though, uninsured or underinsured coverage other than the property will cover all of your pain and suffering and economic and non-economic losses, including medical bills.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Because pain and suffering in and of itself does not include medical bills. Maybe that's what confused me. The actual pain and suffering... What's that?
When we always talk about economic and non-economic, and we just kind of gloss right over those terms. But economic, if you think about economic, has a dollar sign. That means every bill, every wage loss, everything that came out of your pocket, those are all economics. Non-economics are everything else. Your pain and suffering.
What about contents in a car that were destroyed?
Property damage.
Okay, so that's property damage. Thank you, John Fuller.
Wait, one more question, John. Isn't that per incident? Like that lady that hit Suzanne and I, she had like a maximum of $50,000, but she hit me and another woman. So didn't it pay $50,000 times 2?
Yes. So most coverage is expressed as like 2550 or 50-100 or 100-300, and what that means, the first number is per person, the second number is per accident in the aggregate.
Or per car, right? Not like if there's 4 people in the car, it's not per person.
If you got in an accident with 3 cars, you're going to take that top number, that 50 or 100 or 300, and that's going to be the total of the coverage for the entire accident, no matter how many victims there are.
Now, John, have you ever been in a multi-car accident where you had to fight for more of a share for your client than the others?
Oh, sure.
Good question.
Okay, John Fuller, 303-597-4500. Now, please, Jody, do not hang up. I promise I'll come right back to you. I wanted to clarify that, though, about medical bills included in uninsured motorist coverage. We have more coming up.
Clear. You got the Art of Granite coming up in a minute. Sorry, I forgot to put it in the notes.
Tell your smart device to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio.
Boy, I've got another question on that.
What
happens if someone hit you and the maximum payout, there's 5 people in the accident, maximum payout's $50,000, and one of them doesn't have underinsured? Can the other ones get paid, or do they cut it up evenly, or what?
That's what John just said. He has fought before for a bigger slice of the pie for his client.
Based upon maybe their coverage.
Right. Well, I don't know. I think it's based upon the damage. Maybe he's going to say these people were damaged more than the second and third car.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
The coverage is just tough luck if you don't have it.
Right. By the way, comprehensive will cover if you hit a deer, but if you swerve from the deer and hit something else, then that's collision. Really? Yeah. Comprehensive.
I hit a deer, man. It was the most jarring. It was like hitting a fucking tree.
Right. But what I'm saying, if you swerve to miss it and hit something, comprehensive will not cover that. That's got.
You know what I do? I go grab the deer and throw it.
I've done that before.
The Art of Granite is the art of doing things right. TheArtOfGranite.com. What will you get at TheArtOfGranite.com? You'll get countertops 2 weeks after you select your material, and all materials wholesale. So let's all remember this. Materials are wholesale. Tear out and hallways free. The bathroom's free when you do the kitchen, and you can get them in 2 weeks. That's it. All you have to do is contact theartofgranite.com. In fact, they'll even give you prices on the phone. 303-386-5919. 386-5919.
All right, you're clear.
focused on staying safe, now is the time to take inventory of the prescription medications in your home and keep them safe too. Gather any of your unused or expired prescription medications and store them securely until it's time for all of us to join the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration and take them back. This is one crisis we have the power to control together. Clean out, secure, and safely store your medicines today. For resources and to learn more about what you can do, visit DEATakeback.com.
Matham Real Estate now offers contactless consultation and instant offers on your
Hey, Mark, are you up there?
Matham can get your home sold 3 times faster and for 3% more, completely virtual.
Mark.
They offer a virtual
Okay. Hey, how's Milo after you violated him?
He's okay, man. He's a little too energetic, to be honest. He's supposed to keep it really cool for a couple weeks.
Did he flip you off when he came home?
No.
I'm telling him. I'm telling him.
He keeps wanting to lick his, well, where his nuts were.
Because according to Time Magazine, Wall Street's 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potential double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealthy on Wall Street now to get your free book and talk to a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose in the market crashes. Call 800-493-1717 to discover this.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. Plus, when you call right now, you get free shipping and handling, no credit card required.
Golfing this weekend, Doc?
I am. Sunday.
Your son?
No, he's going camping. He's taking his dog camping. So I'm playing with a buddy of mine.
What kind of camping do they do?
Just tent camping.
Okay. I don't know if you did RV camping. Huh.
Get smart enough not to buy a camper.
RV stands for real vacation.
Yeah, right.
That's what I said. In my news article, I said that one time. People thought, I don't know if I made it up, but I had never heard it before that. But I'm sure other people have said it. I think it's a cool slogan.
President Trump rebuilt the U.S. economy, and he can do it again. Now, Newsmax.
My dad never, ever camped. Never. He said, why would I pay money to sleep on the ground when I own a house?
That's a good point.
My dad was a very practical man. Yes, I used them a week ago.
Why would you jump out of there?
No, I haven't. We got to get on that.
They just put out a catalog in our area, Crackjack, $50 off.
What?
I didn't know that. You got $50 off my.
Are you butt jacking?
Yeah. I got Big Bear right now. Today they're doing my floors.
What floors?
Wood floors.
Oh, who's doing it?
Big Bear. They're on it. We've never had a complaint from them.
What are they doing? They
sand it.
Oh, and
varnish it. Yeah. I'll bet you there's probably 3 or 4 that I know of that we've never had complaints on that do quite a bit of work.
When they do that, do they cover your cabinets and everything?
Yep, they taped it this morning. Yep, they taped all the in the kitchen and stuff, all that. I picked everything off the counter. I didn't need to, but I did. And no, they're
is this your place here? Or
yeah, here. Yeah.
How many square feet is it that they're doing?
Of wood? 800 or 900.
And what do they do by the square foot?
Yeah, they do.
Very reasonable.
Mute.
Hi, Tom Martino. You're a troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Let's talk then to Jody. Okay, so Jody, you have an older air conditioner. You're thinking about not replacing him and instead doing a whole house fan. Now, Jody, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, and Dan might disagree, but I don't think that you can replace your air conditioner altogether. That's just my belief. Okay, you agree? Yeah. I think it supplements the air. It saves you a ton of money on air. And it will also make your air work less and all of that. But there are times you're going to need air. Whole house fans are fans, and I love QC Colorado. And the reason I love those is because of how they do it. They're remote-mounted, strong fans, and also remote controls, so there's no jacking around with your wiring. So what I like is you can run them in the morning and you can run them in the evening. Or if you have a thunderstorm in the afternoon and it cools off, you can run it then. But you can only run it when the air outside is cooler than the air inside. And when you do it, it exchanges all the air in your home with fresh, cool air. What I do many times is I use it in the morning and then turn my air on. I use it in the afternoon when my air is on, and it'll still help exhaust and get everything out. You can use it all night if you want when it cools down instead of using air. But there are still times, I believe, that you'd want air conditioning. But if you're in the mountains, that might be a different story. It really does cut down how much you use your air. I mean, really cuts down how much you use it. A lot. But I don't think that I would go totally without air conditioning. Also, for resale of your home as well. But
I don't have $10,000 to buy 2 air conditioners. I just don't have it. I just don't.
Then that's an easy decision.
Yeah, but that is an easy decision. But what's wrong with your air conditioners?
They're 20 years old, and the three companies that came out all told me that they needed to be replaced.
Okay, I mean, that's possible. They do need to be replaced. Your furnaces are new?
Yes, well, 4 years old. I bought
Okay,
them 4
well,
years
that's good.
ago.
What kind of furnaces do you have?
I don't know. I guess I could...
You may want to consider this too, Jody. Replacing the lower air conditioner. And because do you have a 2-story home?
Yes.
I believe that you probably spend most of your time on the first floor, maybe not. Or here's what I would do: you could replace the lower air conditioner and just have one air conditioner. I had a home with just one air conditioner in the one floor and not in the other floor. And the whole house fan, if I had one at the time, would have been the trick, because it'll even out your temperatures a bit. And that might be a way to go, replacing one air conditioner and then doing a whole house fan. So, explore it. But that's just, you asked my opinion and I gave it. So thank you, Jody. 303-713-TALK. Mike's got a comment on Air Care, Colorado. Not sure what the comment is. We talked a little bit about extensions given for emissions tests for a while. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I just spent an hour and a half in line to get the test, and that's fine. Everybody's, scrambling now. But it's $25 like it was before. But the testing is extremely limited. They don't put your tires on the rollers. They don't put the fan. They don't put the funnel in the exhaust. They poke something in your gas tank and take your check. And I'm thinking, there's no way that is effective a test. But they're still collecting the bank.
Well, hold on a sec. They do the exhaust pipe? They're reading that, right?
No.
What do you mean? Come on.
No.
They just put.
You have to put the vehicle on the rollers.
I understand the rollers aren't necessary, the dynamometer stuff, but you're saying they don't even suck out the exhaust. Hang on, I'd like to call them and find out what they do. That's a good point. I'm Tom Martino. We'll talk about that and more coming up.
If you've even contemplated
an inefficient AC system, then listen to this. I had Megan go through with Dr. Fix-It, and it may not seem like...
On my last one, because my car's older than 7 years old, they said the thing is you don't have...
Yeah.
With no money down, zero interest financing for 60 months.
Oh, yeah. I heard of them the other day. I thought the same thing.
Additional rebates on qualified systems. That's a potential...
On my car, I drove by one of the stations where they had it, so they said you don't have to come... So you don't have to even pay. Oh, wow. If you go through one and they get it.
7775. Let me say this again. Replace your system now and get $17.50 in instant rebates. No money down, 0 interest financing for 60 months, 12-year
Hey, Julie?
labor warranty, and accelerated.
Hey, this is Ken. Just call to find out if they came to your dad's place to do the fumigation or the.
Or schedule your service now at calldr.
Hey, Mark.
This is Denver's Talk
He's not there.
with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplan today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver.
Great. So he did come and do the spray. Great. Okay. Just want to follow up on that.
Tell you in Colorado, if you have a basement, you're silly
That's all right.
not
Thank
to
you
have
very
a
much.
full house fan. What? Yeah.
Section of the city continues to smolder following Thursday night's
Tell me if he looks different.
One. The cone of shame. Poor.
She looks pissed off. Oh, she just flipped you off when you weren't looking.
Poor guy. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, wait.
Hey, Mark, did it hurt when they did yours?
Hey, Doc, did you ever put a cone on a woman?
No, he uses a paper bag.
Not on a patient, only on girlfriends.
I tell you what, I think they should do this to rapists.
Hey, Mark.
Second-time rapists.
Yeah.
I already sent them the financials.
Why don't they do that?
Because it's
And then also, I can do the so that's May 26th.
It's against the Constitution.
Mark.
Oh no, cruel and you know what they used to do after the Constitution? Cruel and unusual. They did a lot worse stuff.
All right.
I know.
Where is it? Is it going to be all day?
We've evolved.
I think it's a half day again. That's what they're guessing. So
Okay.
either
They should give an option to a rapist.
They do, I think they do. With the hormone treatment. I think with castration, there are some places, well, they used to at least. Hey, Tom,
I don't know what they want from Suzanne.
I got a follow-up
Or
on
actually, I don't know what they want from anyone.
But I sure don't want to discuss that now.
What's that?
I got a follow-up on that 92-year-old guy who couldn't get his house exterminated. We got it exterminated.
Hey, did you ever hear anything from AAM, Mark?
Who did it?
Andy?
Didn't hear anything from him. I kicked him.
It was a management company.
So I got to call her up and say that she's kicked out. Or, is there any other way to help her? Or?
And get it done.
Okay.
The problem is it's 5 years. I know what you're going to say. She tried to get him for 5 years. Well,
No, 2 years. 2 years.
Hey, Mark, is this new firm different, better, worse, what?
I've always wanted to learn another language.
The opposition.
I decided to give Babbel a try. And
oh, God, I have no idea. I just can't believe it. I can't believe 4 different sets.
That's weakness to me. I don't care what you say.
It takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're
You said you're weak?
which keeps things interesting. I can't wait to use my Spanish skills in real life.
I don't like that Minneapolis mayor. I think he's a fucking schmuck.
Do you know the police chief in Minneapolis is black?
They let him burn the fucking police station.
I know it. They did. You know the police chief is black, right?
I don't give a fuck what color any of them.
No. What I'm saying, he started it by just firing him, and not. He should have said this is under investigation right now, not just firing him. I pretty much guarantee he's gonna get manslaughter, that cop. Here's something I just heard too. Him and that black guy they had down there, they worked together as bouncers in a club right across the street from that.
Who, the cop and me?
Yes.
The cop? The guy?
Yeah, and then worked together as bouncers.
The cop and who?
And the guy he killed.
So they knew each other?
Yep.
Then that was all the more reason why.
Exactly.
They knew each other.
They should have known each other. I don't know how big a place this was, but you'd think bouncers, or if they never met or whatever, I don't know.
Wow. Well, this guy's fucked.
And this cop was involved with the shooting a few years back.
Well, you
that
don't know
Amy
that.
Klobuchar didn't want to prosecute. I think this cop is a rogue cop. He gives, but you know what, cops? They do it among themselves. Not that every cop is bad, but they don't turn other bad cops in.
Why is that?
Exactly, the blue code, exactly.
Is they think they have unlimited power because of their fucking badge.
Sports teams, I mean all kinds
Oh
of
no, sports teams, come on.
radio people.
Well, look at that Houston.
Never turn you in.
well, I would never turn. Oh wait, I did turn you in. Hey, Houston. Hey, Houston turned themselves in about that stealing signs. It took a year, but they turned them in.
With Pergo Extreme Rigid Flooring,
guess where we're going tonight?
Deeper visuals, deeper protection, deeper voice.
Where? To hell if you don't change your ways.
It starts with a P and ends with an S.
Harry's.
We went to Ocean Prime. We went to Venice Italian first night. Second night we went to. Last night we went to Ocean Prime.
They have great steaks, don't they, Tom?
Venice?
No. Ocean Prime has really good steaks. Did you have seafood or steaks, Tom?
Seafood. That's all I have there.
With inspiration from some amazing speakers, T-Mobile is also proud to announce the Uncarrier Jobs Initiative with a commitment to hire more than 5,000 new employees.
Oh, good. I'm going to have all my stuff except the 12 and 10.
Or what year you tossed your pen. Then find your inspiration with iHeart's Commencement podcast and the iHeartRadio app.
Poor Milo. No. I put him up. I can't believe you did that.
Does he have a cone on?
He's got a cone on.
All right, here we go, guys. We're back. Monday morning at 6
Okay, mute.
here on 630 KL.
Hey, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Here to help you with all of your problems, questions, complaints. This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. Just put Tom in the promo code, get 25% off. You know, they also sell, by the way, in addition to CBD products, they have some other stuff like hand sanitizers and stuff. And again, the CBD products, because I endorse them because they are the purest of the purest, and the facility is a former EPA lab. That's how scientific and wonderful they are, and also you can trust the dosages. RealCBDThatWorks.com. Okay, now let's talk about this lease with Bryce, and then anything else you want to talk about, give us a call. We had a flurry of calls in the beginning, and they tapered off, so now we're asking to call if you have a problem, question, or complaint, 303-713-TALK. Of course, you can also call 303-MARTINO. Bryce, what's going on with you, Bryce? What's happening?
Hey, thanks, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. A couple of months ago, we needed to get out of Denver, me and my lady. And for a year now, we've been wanting to maybe move over here to Fruita. And, you know, I work for Lowe's. I was going to transfer it over to this Lowe's and all that. So we kind of started to set all that up. Well, you know, the virus hit and we were looking at shutdown. So we drove over here to Grand Junction and Fruita and started looking at apartments. We looked at several of them. And these landlords or these realty companies, they weren't letting anybody in their doors. They were just shoving things through mail slots like applications and information and all that stuff. Well, we looked at several of them, and I picked this one, and it was for $800 a month. It was advertised because I wrote down several of them that I was going to come over and look at, and it was one of them. Well, we decided on it. Well, my lady went up and got the applications. We filled them out, and then when we filled out the lease and I went to go pay my first month's rent, they called me up and said, your rent is $900. It's not $800. You still owe us $100.
Yeah, but why? You say it was advertised for $800, but what was on the lease?
I sent you guys the lease on your Troubleshooter.com.
Okay, and the lease said $800 a month?
Yep, it does.
Did they sign it?
Yeah, she wrote it, and then when I was driving here with the moving company on my way over here, we were at a gas station, and she called me, and I was an hour away, with all of our stuff, and then she says, "Come on in, the lease is ready to go. You guys going to make it before we close?"
Hold on. Okay, the lease is ready to go. So you had done all this based on an advertisement?
What does that mean?
She said the lease was ready to go, meaning you had already signed the lease.
No, they had got it all prepared, and then we showed up to her office, and that was the first time they let us in. We walked in with our masks and gloves and sat down in their conference room.
That was the first time you saw the $900?
I never saw $900. They just told me that.
Okay, Bryce, let me put it this way. On the lease that day that was ready, how much was the rent on that lease?
$800.
Okay, and you both signed it?
Yep.
Well, how the heck, Bryce? You both signed a lease that says $800 a month, and that's for how long?
For a year.
And now he called and said, "Oh, we made a mistake."
Yeah, because I paid them. See, they did a prorate.
Yeah, but how do they? But I don't understand that. If your lease says $800, it's $800. I mean, if you the way I look at it is, if you pay them $800, what are they going to do? Evict you for paying the rent?
She threatened that she was going to take the lease to her lawyer.
Well, let her take it to her lawyer. I mean, is there an out on that lease? We have to have one of our people look at it. But Bryce, if what you're telling me is true, this is why I asked what was on the lease. Because unfortunately, if you had gone over there with just the verbal stuff, and when you got to the office, it was $900, you're stuck. Or you just walk away. You would have a tough time enforcing a verbal promise. However, if that lease said $900 a month for starting on such and such a date for 1 year, you signed it, and I'm hoping you were right when you said they signed it. Because if you signed it and it went to them and the guy looked at it and says, "Oh, no, I'm not signing this," you got the wrong rent in there to his manager, then you don't have a lease. But you said you have a copy of a lease signed by both parties, right?
I'm looking at it right now, Tom.
Well, how the hell can they just arbitrarily change this guy's rent?
Because she said that she disclosed it to us. That it was going to be $900.
Well, okay, then why did she sign a lease that said $800?
It's evident he's going to be able to stay there unless there's something weird there. But the other question is, if you can afford to pay it and want to stay there in a year, she might not renew it if it's an issue.
Well, that is one possibility, obviously, right? She might say, "Well, screw you. You took advantage of us," although I don't think you did. So what do you think, man? I mean, if it was me, I can only tell you what I would do. If I had a lease that said $900 and there was nothing in it that could make them change it, I would stay there. And when they tried to evict me, I'd bring that lease with me along with proof of payment.
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to do. But now with the online portal and their records, they're charging us $900. And my lease.
Okay, we got to call them. Okay, we're going to give them. We're going to call them, and maybe we can inject some reality into them. This is ridiculous. I mean, when you say to them, "I have a signed lease," what do they say?
She says that. Now, I never got to meet her. When we showed up here, a cleaning lady let us in.
All right, I don't care. What's the response?
She said that she told us that it was $900 a month. I don't remember any of that. I remember coming over here on an ad, and I sent you guys the ads.
Hold on. You're not getting the question, bro. I am asking you, what do they say about the lease?
They say that she made a mistake because of the coronavirus. Her and her office did, and that the rent is $900, and that you will be paying $900. It doesn't matter that it says $800. She didn't mention anything about amending it or talking about it. She just said, "Bring us $900. You owe us $900."
Well, let's go to war with them if you want, but you got to make that decision. Let's get Daphne to get him on right now, Tom.
Yeah, try to get him on, or if you want Deputy Doc to call, whatever you want, just do it on the chat. Let's take this on. I mean, we have the lease in front of us. I don't know why these people are being such jerks. Now, even if they had told you, here's what they're going to say, Mark. It's unjust in Richmond or something something like that, they're going to say this. They're going to say he knew all along it was going to be $900, and we just made a mistake on the lease. However, let me explain something about mistakes. True mistakes are not enforceable. But what I mean by a true mistake is this. Let's say you're buying a Corvette, and it's listed as $85,000. And you put $5,000 down, and then they say the balance is $70,000. That's a mistake. That can't be enforced. But when they put down 900, and then say, sorry, excuse me, 800, sorry, it's 900. Well, screw you. I mean,
well, wait a minute, Tom.
Yeah.
Wait. You're saying if you went all the way through closing on a car deal and they screwed up after everything was signed and done and paid, if it was, I think that's it. It's done. It's over.
Mark, really not. If it was a math mistake that both of you could have discovered. I'm saying, now, if the guy says, I wrote down the wrong price, and the price he wrote down was the wrong price, and there's no one for both. There's no way for you to know that. There is a way for you to know if it's an $85,000 car. You put $5,000.
I got you. If the math is wrong on the down payment.
I'm saying something. But however, and I've had both cases in my career where there was a math mistake to the benefit of the consumer. The business says, you still owe us. He says, It's like, I gotcha. And then there was another one where both the consumer and the business were talking about the price of something, and they both knew it was going to be about $90,000 or whatever it was. Let's just use that as an example. But the contract came out as $80,000, and the consumer didn't say anything. The business didn't notice it. It went all the way through. Now the business is saying, well, we discussed 90. You knew it was going to be 90, and the guy's going to say, well, I didn't know any such thing. I thought maybe you got me a discount or something, because everything on the contract said 80. That business would have a tough time getting out of that. I mean, it really does boil down to what you guys agreed to, and that's why written contracts are there, because everyone has a different recollection of what they agreed to.
Yeah, this is so cut and dry. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
These people, I can't believe they came back like this.
Bryce,
that say it was a typo, but that's in her own handwriting, and
it's handwritten.
A typo or a misprint doesn't happen over and over. How many times?
Here's what I think. Here's what I think happened, Tom. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to call out whose mistake this was. It's going to be Columbine Realty, who's a property management. They probably were supposed to lease it out for $900. They leased it out for $800. Now they're trying to get it fixed.
Man, I'll tell you.
But the advertisement says 800 too.
The advertisement says 800 too.
Oh my God!
Make sure you have copies of that ad that you can keep.
Right there, rent.com, 813. I'm not going to say the rest of the address. $800 a month.
You know what? Okay. We got to call them. Hold on. This is one that's got me fired up, Bryce.
There's a phone number right on that ad. Dan will show it to you.
By the way, are you moved in?
Yeah, we're here. I'm sitting in it right now.
All right, cool. Listen, I'm telling you, I think you have a strong case there, man. I don't know how you lose.
Just remember, though, they're going to be looking for stuff, man. Don't sneak any pets in. You
that's right. Anything that you do against that lease, they're on you like you know what on you know what. We got more coming up. Clear.
30 seconds till you become the banker.
God. The last few months have taught us what's important. It's also taught us what we need to change. It's the same for business. Why have your multiple software systems when all you need is NetSuite by Oracle?
It does say no pets too in there.
NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR.
Doc!
What I do?
You still damn the ass.
You need to take now and schedule your free product tour at netsuite.com/local.
This guy's got an old school scanner. You got to scan each page at a time.
Yeah.
Become the banker. It's not just a slogan. It's a real deal. And when you're the banker, you don't lose money. You get a guaranteed return of 4%. Plus you get that dividend that's been being paid for like 100 years of 1%. During this pandemic, people have lost nothing in this program. What are they doing? They're overfunding a life insurance policy on purpose to get tax-free savings to use during their life to buy cars and stuff, and then for retirement. Find out more. BecomeTheBanker.org.
You know, one thing it does say, he has to have renter's insurance.
Why?
It says in the
he
thing.
probably does, right?
Well, yeah, but the question is, in his keeping up his part of the lease, it's their keeping up their part of the lease.
Or if they don't get it, the tenant shall pay an additional $50 per month.
What do you get? You're going to order that, Doc. You know these people.
I should.
What do you want?
I'm going to see here. I want the Angus burger.
They make good burgers.
Angus burger and cheese, of course.
Okay, what kind of cheese?
Cheeseburger. Just
medium.
American cheese, cheddar cheese.
Yeah, cheddar. Whatever they normally.
Okay, what do you want as a side?
And then I also want. What do you mean a side? They come with.
Yeah.
Oh, what do they have? Coleslaw.
Yeah, coleslaw, fruit, French fries.
If they have if they have coleslaw,
you
no,
get
they don't. They don't have coleslaw. But if they do have coleslaw, I'll take it. Otherwise, house salad's great.
Okay.
So house salad and a
How do you want your burger? Medium?
Medium rare.
Yeah.
Who am I? I'd like a hamburger, a pizza, a brat, a salad, and a soup, please.
That's Tom.
Okay.
I want this. Oh, okay. Same thing as Tom, only I want fruit.
Okay.
We were at Chick-fil-A. I was at Chick-fil-A with my kids, and I ordered for me. And they said, okay, thank you very much, pull up. And I said, no, the kids have to order too. They thought I was ordering for 3 of us.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Chick-fil-A's got the best drive-through, man.
I tell you, Chick-fil-A food,
fast.
You know what? You get those platters of those little sandwiches. Oh, they are so good.
You know what else is good? Arby's has pretty good
chicken stuff.
Chicken stuff.
What is it? Popeyes, they say, has a good chicken sandwich.
You need my card.
No, I got it.
Oh, no, you don't have to do it, man. But anyway, let me see. I have it on here. I'm writing. I certainly appreciate it, but you don't have to.
When they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows.
And then we can all use just drinks. We have drinks. We don't need drinks.
Just do water.
Mortgage.com to start your refinance. You'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.375%. APR 3.
Yeah, their lease is pretty well spelled out. I mean, the stuff that they have there, so it's.
With a cash out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for.
I like their lease, to tell you the truth.
You like what?
They got a nice lease. It's very clear.
Yeah, well, apparently not.
What's the address here, Tom?
9113.
They said if you don't have renter's insurance, they'll charge you $50 a month until you get it.
Did I just say that online? Shit. Okay.
I don't think anybody's listening.
That's a lot of money though for renter's insurance.
Yeah, of course. But they want them to get it, and they got to have $100,000 worth of renter insurance. We should ask him that to make sure he has renter's insurance.
Do you think most banks on car loans that do forced insurance, do you think they hold those in-house or they actually buy a policy?
No, they have what's called an umbrella policy that automatically, they don't have to keep track. It just covers them for anything that might be uninsured.
Yeah, it's one big umbrella.
Yeah, and then what they do is they actually make money on it. They charge accordingly to their people.
They screw you.
Well, no, because you're screwing them by not covering their...
No. So this is what happened. I got to bring up my thing with my son on that.
Yeah.
The other kid dropped the insurance.
Yeah.
Totaled the car.
Yeah.
They say it's your car, and we had to pay for.
Did you
he
just
got
say
charged for the whole amount of the car.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
Well, if they didn't, you know, what Tom says is they're covering their losses, right?
No, that's not all of them.
Okay. Well, this is what was the name of that credit union?
Did you say they did have forced insurance?
No, I don't know. They charged my son for it.
Of course they did.
Not for the insurance, for the car.
No, but they might have not known
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Genesis Total Exteriors. And, of course, home improvements as well of all kinds. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. I love having home improvement companies you can trust. Mark Szymanski's one of those guys, man, and you'll love him. And he'll do kitchens and bathrooms and basements and, of course, everything outside from the roof to the deck and siding and windows. 303-679-8509. Deputy Doc, why are you perched there at the mic?
Just another feel-good story.
Okay, what happened?
We had a 92-year-old guy
who
couldn't get his apartment exterminated with bed bugs.
I remember that.
Yeah, we called up. They made arrangements for him to come. They came this morning.
Now, what was the reason was they had an exterminator come to the complex, but they could never get him because he's older and was napping. And, and the daughter said, can't they make a special arrangement?
So we called them up. They made a special arrangement, and they came this morning at 9 o'clock.
Oh, good.
And apparently they set up an arrangement so in the future he'll be able to get it when it's time for the rest. So feel good story for today.
Good stuff.
92-year-old guy.
Good. Okay. There he goes. Man, that Ants boy, an exhibitionist, he never fails to pull out that dinger. And it's good, though, because the dinger is made for success stories.
Good-looking dinger.
Yeah, he does. Bill has a mortgage refi question. Go ahead, Bill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. So real quick, we've got roughly $100,000 left on a 30-year note. So we got approximately 10 years left on the note. We're at like 6.5%. Looking to refi. They want to refi us down to like 3.2.
Oh man, that's good.
On a 30-year note. But yes, but it's a 30-year note. I don't want a 30-year note.
No, you don't have to go back to 30.
Right. So my question is, where's my money savings? Because right now, our note is roughly, with mortgage, interest, and escrow, about $1,400 a month. The 30-year note they want to put us in would be $800 a month. So that's a big savings.
Except for all the extra months.
Well, it's cash flow, man.
Yeah, it's cash flow, but if you see, there are two reasons people refi. One is for cash flow, and one is for to get get the lower rate and take advantage of paying off their house faster. So with a lower rate. So Brent Ivinson is with Ideal Home Loans. Let's bring him up. He was listening. And
but
Brent,
real quick, how many years are you into it, Bill? How many?
He's 20 years into it.
30.
He's 20 years into it.
Oh my God, he's on the good side.
30-year note.
Yeah. So Brent, you have plenty of people that want to refi, but they don't want to go back to 30 years, right?
Yeah, for sure. And what he would want to look at is he would want to look at a 10-year note because, again, unless there's a cash flow issue, as you mentioned, but it doesn't sound like there is. And the great thing, too, is if you go to a 10-year note, you're going to be looking at a rate that is in the high 2s as well. So then your savings is going to be significant. You're not dragging your term back out. I mean, this kind of scenario, it lines up perfectly because it's 10 years, but this is the perfect scenario as to why we came out with our custom term mortgage is that, hey, there's no reason to take advantage of lower rates but start over on a whole new home loan because that doesn't really save you a bunch of money. It just extends out the term of your loan and lowers your payment if you can keep moving forward with a lower interest rate and a lower payment, which he's going to get going from 6 to, say, 2.75%. Makes way more sense to look at a 10-year.
Wow, that would be incredible. Wow. So who have you been dealing with, Bill?
I actually don't know the mortgage company.
All right, call Ideal Home Loans and see what they can do for you. And you should shop anyway, no matter what. So
yeah, but if you did the math between what that company you're talking to is offering compared to what Brent just said, I bet, and Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, over that 30-year period, this guy would save $200,000.
Well, it's not it's only going to be 10 years.
No, they're talking about refining them into a 30.
No, I know that. No, I know what you mean. And that would be actually not saving over the long run when you come to full dollars. You know, I think people should go for cash flow when they're not going to stay in the house and they're going to move on. There's nothing wrong with having cash flow. And equity doesn't become that important if you're not going to stay a long time and if you're on the back side of the loan. If you're on the good side of the loan, and you're really like he is, you should look for custom terms that do not extend it. So we're all in agreement. Here's their number if you want to call them. 303-867. It's 303-867-7000. Okay? 867-7000. I have no idea what that number is there, but okay. So anyway, just do me a favor, and when you find out the math, let us know. I'd love to know. And Brent, while you're on, let's talk. We like checking in with businesses. We do it often with all of our referral list members, and other people call in as well. So let's talk about what is happening. Are you getting more purchase money loans, or are you getting more refis, or a little bit of both? What's going on?
You know, we're seeing predominantly refi, but we are starting to see that purchase market come back around. You know, we definitely saw a cooling off with everything that went on with the coronavirus. And, you know, at a period of time in Colorado, they halted showings, and so that had an impact on things. But we are starting to see some inventory levels come back. We're starting to see buyers wanting to get back out, get pre-approved again, start looking around, and start taking advantage of rates. I mean, the one thing is we've talked about so many times is when rates are at these record low levels like we're seeing, your buying power goes up dramatically. You know, I mean, you could be looking at as much. If you looked at buying a year ago to today, you have almost $65,000 more in buying power than you did a year ago just because of where interest rates are at today versus where they were a year ago. So it definitely helps the home buyer considerably when we see rates at these levels.
Well, let me ask another thing then, because it's a good topic. When it comes to the lending business in general, okay, the money comes from the money comes from bonds. I mean, sure, you're a direct mortgage lender. So are a lot of people, a lot of banks and stuff. But when they make that loan, they eventually sell it and then replenish the money and loan more money. And when you do that, where does the money ultimately come from for most mortgages?
It ultimately, for most mortgages, gets traded into a mortgage-backed security, which is a bonded instrument.
Okay, and when they talk about Fannie Mae and Ginnie Mae, are they talking about that security, that government security?
They are. They are talking about a security in which it is traded into. So, you know, your FHA and your VA loans are traded into a Ginnie Mae pool or a Ginnie Mae security.
Okay. All right, now, next question then.
Fannie and Freddie.
In order to get the money from those bonds, you have to have investors that buy those bonds, and they buy those bonds for a certain yield. So, correct me again if I'm wrong, but I want to know, now, if the stock market is doing great, a lot of people run to the stock market instead of the bond market. And when they're running to the stock market, the bond people have to say, hey, wait a minute. Come on over here. We're good too. We'll pay more rate. And as they pay more rate, so usually when the stock market's doing great, interest rates go up a bit, right?
Yes, typically we do see that correlation. Now, we have not seen that correlation as of late. You still have rates very low, the bond market trading at a very low level, and the stock market rallying and going the other direction. So we kind of have this inverse of what we typically see right now, and I've seen this inverse correlation for the last, probably 30 to 45 days.
And Brent, in general, though, during Trump's administration, this is not a political thing, I'm just wondering timeline-wise, that's the way it's been. The stock market's been off the hook, but still the rates have been low.
Oh, yeah. You know, we saw rates in kind of the low fours right after Trump got elected, and, you know, we saw a correction back up, and then we saw things kind of, you know, drift up even further than that and then drift back down to fours. And then, you know, really for the last, you know, year or so, we've had rates in the high threes, but then as of recent, in the last 60 to 90 days, we've been nonstop in the low threes.
I have a prediction or an observation, and I wonder if it holds water. Seriously. I think we're going to see an era of low rates and a good stock market for a reason, and that is because I believe as the population ages, especially the boomers and those right after it, you have a chunk of population that wants security, and they're satisfied with a lower return. And I think you're going to have two types of investors that will keep both markets thriving. So I think you're going to have the people that want the stability of the bond market, and you're going to have those who still want the stock market. And I think we're going to see that correlation be less important. I mean, that's what I think, because you've been seeing that a little as time goes on. You've been seeing the stock market doing good, but the home loan market's still doing good as far as low rates.
Democrat in office, and everything will go to hell.
I don't know, Brent. Has there ever been a study done on that? On who does what? With political?
We have had very good, I've been in mortgage lending since 1996, and we have had some very good years under Democratic leadership, and we have had some very good years under Republican leadership as well. Now, the scenario you just laid out, normally my career has been I'm either rooting for the profitability of the business, which is big loan volume because of low rates, but then my retirement accounts and investment accounts are getting creamed, and so the scenario you're painting is the absolute perfect.
Got a break soon.
That's the case.
Yeah. Anyway, Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan, 303-867-7000. More coming up.
You are clear. Got your.
This is Denver's top station with Ross Kaminsky
Yes.
and Dan Kaplis in the afternoons.
This isn't a political show, Mark.
Denver.
It's not a political show. Okay. So I figured out his $100,000 and a 10-year note, if he did it, would be $954 a month.
Yeah, but here's the deal. It'll be $170,000 if you redid 100. And,
Right. 30, right.
Compared to what? On a 10-year?
954. Well, let's see here. Interest. Oh no, I'm sure it'll be less. See if it says that through here. No, 14.5.
Okay, thanks.
So 114,000.
Yeah.
Compared to 170.
Correct.
That's crazy.
If you did 10-year, his 10-year would be $954 a month, but that's without insurance and.
Well, you can't. We don't know.
Got a spot. 5 seconds.
5 second spot.
There in New York, the insurance is more than a mortgage.
Right.
For free. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hey, that cop was arrested.
TheArtOfGranite.com. That's the place for countertops in 2 weeks once you pick your materials. And remember, The Art of Granite is a direct stone importer, and they sell all of their materials at wholesale. So all you're paying for is the fabrication and installation as far as profits, and those are modest as well. You know, the best thing to do is just get a price, and the great thing is you can get a price on the phone with The Art of Granite, the entire Front Range, Mountain Communities too, 303-386-5919.
Hey, Mark. Mark, did they arrest all of them or just the one? Okay. Let me tell you, that was worse, and you might disagree, than the one with chasing with the pickup.
Jason, I don't remember that.
Yes, you do. The one that just recently down in Georgia or something.
The worst one I ever saw was the older black guy running away, and the
Yes.
cop shot him in the back like 4 times in a park.
Whatever happened to that one?
Oh, I'm sure that guy went to fucking jail for murder. I mean, that was...
Now, so that cop that was on the neck was arrested?
Yeah. Mark said he was just arrested.
What was he charged with?
Did they say what?
They didn't put the charge yet.
It's gonna
You
be
know, man, I have to tell you, bro.
Taken into custody.
It's going to be manslaughter.
You know what's I mean, this guy has no chance of a fair trial.
Well, how do you have a fucking fair trial when you see a guy choking him to death?
I know.
I think that's a fair trial. I mean, a trial is fair if all the evidence is out there. And that's how can you get more evidence? The only thing you...
And it goes beyond that, Doc. The guy was sitting there saying, I can't breathe, you're going to kill me. Other people watching were saying that.
I know, I agree. What I'm saying is that there's probably nobody in the United States that hasn't seen.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That hasn't already made up their mind.
Okay, then explain
That was easy. That was jury nullification by black people who wanted to get back at the white cops.
No, it wasn't all
Hey,
black
Mark.
people. The jury wasn't all black.
Do you know what I did? For the first time since I moved here, I set up my drums. Yeah, but listen to this. They have brand new drum heads that mimic the electronics, and they're called Quiet Stroke, and they take away most of the noise. You can still hear them. They sound really good. Like, picture those heads on an acoustic drum. You get a lot of sound, but not like a lot of ringing and overbearing. So it's like having synthetic drums, but real drums at the same time. And with those mesh heads, I can put mics near the drums to pick them up if I want to record or if I want it to sound louder. So it's really cool. It's really cool. All the heads are coming. They're made by Remo. They're called Silent Stroke. But I have a shitload of heads. I mean, this drum set is overwhelming. My God. Well, I had a friend help me. We did it in one lift. We took Daphne's truck, and I took Rick's truck, and we did it in one lift. But it was extreme. And then I started setting up.
OJ, 9 black, 2 white, 1 Hispanic. 10 more women. Yeah,
I'm just psyched to get it all done. You got to come over when I get it all done.
You're right.
Mark,
They didn't want
with your guitar.
This is exactly right. I agree with that. I absolutely
It is so cool.
Oh my God, did you guys see this cat with 2 faces?
No.
Holy shit.
Send it to me. I'll put it up.
Oh my God, this is a real fucking deal. Here, hold on, I'll put it in your thing.
I'm gonna have my other shit. Delivered soon, man. Oh God, I can't believe it. They're all gonna be delivered soon.
What are you doing? What did you do here? Damn it.
Can't believe it. I love it.
I just learned yesterday that the reason they call it snare drums because you can have a snare.
Oh, that's not so great.
Yeah. Oh, so you have what?
A snare.
That's not that big.
Snare drums. I didn't know that. I thought they were always the same.
No, you can turn them off.
He doesn't have 2 faces.
And you can also adjust them to be a tight sound like those guys.
Right.
They have tight, those fucking heads, and I'll bet you those heads are the Kevlars, and I'll bet you that those things
Oh, sell it in a heartbeat.
so tight. When you hear it, it was.
I wouldn't want it. It's probably going to die.
They have no echo. Is that the most beautiful sound? That one that they have.
The synchronicity of it is amazing.
That's totally off the hook.
Do you know what taiko drums are?
What are?
Taiko drums, the Japanese drum course.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, you know, today's Friday, which normally would be car day. So if you have any car-related questions, we have experts standing by that would love to do it. So let us know, please. Juanita has an update. Now, Juanita, this was a mask for Eva. Eva couldn't get out of the house, oh no, I know what it was. She had COPD, could not wear a mask. And I said, look, I have a shield that, a plexiglass, or it's actually a polycarbonate shield that goes on the brow like a headband, and then it drops down over your face. I think it's spectacular. And by the way, it offers every bit as much protection, if not more, than a face mask if you truly look at what they do, because neither of them will filter out virus particles. But in any case, it was a good alternative. Now, Juanita, what part did you play in this?
Well, I actually went to Ace Hardware and got the mask for her.
Oh.
And I was lucky because one of the Ace Hardware employees actually uses it himself, so he kind of showed me how it works and the straps in the back and so forth. And also, he told me that if it's too long for you, you can cut it, because they are very lengthy, and so you don't want to dig it into your chest.
Do you like it, Juanita?
Pardon?
Do you like it?
Yes, they're very cool, and he loves it. The Ace Hardware employee that wears it, he absolutely loves it. So we got it out to Ava, and she was so very, very grateful. She's quite charming, and we had a couple conversations on the phone.
Oh.
And I hope she's happy with it. She did say she had a friend that was coming over to help her
We love
put
our
it on and
listeners,
so
man.
forth.
We
But
love
I
our
hope it works
listeners.
for her.
Thank you so much, Juanita, for being a deputy, and we appreciate it. When things get back to normal, drop in and say hi. We'll buy you lunch in the studio. Thank you. So, that is a great ending to a story. We have a lot of good help stories on this show over the years. And then I have one of those polycarbonates, and my wife just says she will not be in public with me when I wear it. So I'm gonna get it. I have a little video on our Facebook, and it doesn't look bad. Dee, what's happening? Hello, Dee.
How are you?
What's going on?
Well, we are within 100 miles of our 100,000 miles on our Honda Pilot. It's a 2011, and our big question is, it's been a great vehicle, but we always take it to Planet when our wrench comes on, the light, and because of the oil servicing and everything.
Okay. Say that again. Oh, you have 100,000 miles.
Almost.
And
94 miles.
Okay, now, and what condition has it been in up till now? Like, what is it, first of all? What is it exactly?
It's a Honda Pilot.
Okay, good.
2011.
Okay. All right. So what is your question now? If it's running good, you've done all the required maintenance, you've kept up with it. So are you thinking about getting a new warranty?
That's my question.
I would not.
Do we get it from Honda or who?
No, I wouldn't get one at all. However, if you get any of them, this is the time to buy it. It's the smartest thing to do, because the other warranties that you buy while you have a factory warranty, they run concurrent, and you don't get really any value. So the question is, should you get a new warranty? Now, I wouldn't, but that's just me. But if you are going to get one and you like having one, I would only get it from Honda, and now is the time to do it. You get that is a true extended warranty. But that's the only place I would get it.
Oh, don't buy it, though. Don't buy it.
Yeah. Are they offering it to you?
No, they don't even know that I have the question.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to get stuck with several $1,000s of a bill.
But Dee, again, it really depends on how you drive and what you do. If you have 100,000 miles and you've had all the maintenance done, oil changes and everything like you're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
If you keep doing that, most of your defects have already come up. Let me tell you what they read. These extended warranties only cover manufacturer's defects.
Oh.
So what manufacturer's defects have not yet shown up at 100,000 miles? The farther you get away from manufacturing date, the less likely you have defects. Now, there are some policies that run into like a maintenance agreement almost, and they're a little different, but most of them will, they want a manufacturer's defect. So if something just catastrophically fails, you may or may not get it covered. Most likely you would, but here's what they do. They look for excuses. For example, in almost every warranty, it says that normal wear and tear is not covered. Also, owner abuse is not covered. And also, when the cumulative total of repairs equals the market value of the car, then you have no coverage. So do you
have all your maintenance records?
Everything since we bought it. It had about 31,000 miles when we bought it.
And you inherited the factory warranty, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Man,
so
I don't know.
Again, listen, if they'll sell it to you on a monthly basis and you want to do it, that's up to you. I wouldn't do it, because like I said, there are too many outs on a car with 100,000 miles. So you think, oh, if my transmission goes out, they're going to fix it. No, they won't, because it's going to be worn out. It's not going to be a manufacturer's defect. Please keep that in mind. Warranties are warranties, okay? They're not.
And you better have every maintenance record. If that said, do the timing belt at this time, do the transmission service at this time, you better have receipts or that warranty's no good.
Now, Craig has a quick comment. I got to take a break, but Craig, what's your comment on this?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
On that particular vehicle, her biggest expense at this point should be the timing belt. Having the timing belt done at 100,000 miles. If she's had regular oil changes and maybe a transmission fluid.
And a warranty won't cover timing belt.
No, it won't. But,
Right.
I mean, the money that she would put into an extended on that vehicle is so reliable. I mean, the only thing that she should really worry about at this point is her timing belt and just keep doing her regular oil changes. And like I say, the transmission fluid, and that's about it. She shouldn't have to do a whole lot to that car. That's a very reliable
Okay, thank you. We got to take a break. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Clear. Got Steam Pros coming up in
iHeartRadio. Then you can hear news and talk that impacts your life.
Getting 630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
Denver's talk station. Available on over 2,000
Daphne, you understand what I mean. It's WeListenToKids.com.
This report is sponsored by DuckDuckGo Privacy.
Stories was the end of that sentence. Somehow it got picked up.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said stories was the end of that sentence.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
A little bit of delay. Traffic backed up to about 8th Avenue at this time, so travel through that area with caution. The rest of the highway drive looking fairly decent across town. Construction continues again in the High Country Drive. Watch out for single-lane traffic in the tunnel today along westbound I-70.
30 seconds till Steam Pros.
I don't think that's a plural. Is it Steam Pros?
Well,
oh, no, it's Steam Pro. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I have it.
Right now, just a few clouds.
Yeah, that was my mistake. Sorry.
With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Fed up with companies selling your data? DuckDuckGo is on it. They help millions of people like you take back their privacy online.
All right, 5 seconds, Steam Pro.
Yeah, gotcha. Privately. Crackers, all for free. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Get ready to copy down this number for great carpet cleaning on our referral list at referrallist.com, okay? Here's the website, SteamProInc.com. Yes, they have their safety policies, of course, with masks and gloves and booties, but here's the deal. They'll do 3 rooms for $89. And Steam Pro's locally family owned and are run for 33 years. And they use the most powerful equipment in the industry, 230-degree water, and they clean everything with 100% green products. SteamProInc.com, 303-795-2222, 795-2222.
These days means navigating.
Did you see the cat with 2 faces?
Changing situation.
God.
For one trusted source that will keep you.
Is that real or?
That's real. It's real.
Your small business crisis resource. They realize small business resources. They put in your latest grants and other
What are you saying, Mark? That's medium rare.
Looks good.
Say that again, Mark. There's a lot of noise here.
You know, after around the golf, you always go in for a drink.
Tom, Mark's got a question.
Yeah, Mark.
QC of Colorado is now saying you gave them Maine for free.
I did not. That's such bullshit, man. I'm tired of these people.
I am beyond.
Show. Saturdays at 6
And we have to
Sunday mornings
yeah.
at 10
It almost looks fake, doesn't it? The cat with 2 faces.
It should be dressing on the side. Oh,
okay.
I know what kind of dressing.
Oh, good. There it is. Yeah.
This is one crisis we have the power to control together. Clean out, secure, and safely store your medicines today. For resources and to learn more about what you can do, visit DEATakeback.com.
Frank Duran. I think they still go to the places for the takeout. For the takeout stuff. He still has a show.
Anybody? Serious injury or the wrongful death of a loved one.
Doc. It was right or wrong. This is right in my backyard, man. I didn't even know this. Yeah, they deliver. I'm thinking, holy shit. Right in my backyard. I have no idea. He said he didn't give it to him for free. Did you tell him the referral list was free?
That's it. Was just the referral list.
Oh, just a referral list. Don't ask questions, he's eating.
Alright, Mark, you're going to end up writing them a fucking check for that fan. And I'm going to laugh so fucking loud, you'll never hear me stop.
So, you know, she sort of alluded to that.
Yeah, she's alluding to you're going to owe them fucking money, so you know. And it's the funniest thing I've ever fucking heard.
Did she really say that, Mark?
She's alluding to that, yes.
We'll help you stay well stocked with hand sanitizer, face masks, and essential PPE.
They put the okie doke on you.
Mark?
You're going to pay them for your talent fee.
That beer is good, Doc.
Really, honest to goodness, did you negotiate with them? It was going to be the fan plus whatever. What we are doing is just charging by the month, right?
Yes, we were charging by the month. They had called to talk to her because we haven't received any payments, nothing from her.
What?
And you haven't heard who installed your install date?
What's that?
Have they installed your new one?
No, they haven't even talked about it.
You're up.
Talk 713-8255. Let's talk and find out what's going on. This is important. Cliff, go ahead. Cliff, what? Hold on, Cliff. Let me just take Craig very quickly here because we're coming up to the end of the hour, and I think he has to run. And basically, from now on, we got to get where we have some manipulation time here. Craig, I can squeeze you in now, but I can't promise anything. What is going on now? I'm hearing day after day that people are having more and more trouble with their kids. Honest to goodness, it's becoming the subject of news stories on how kids are starting to rebel. But I would think it's getting easier now that it's summer and they're kind of opening up, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think getting over with that online school stuff, I got to tell you, it was, especially for the high school and college kids, it was a total cluster. They were all frustrated. The young kids were frustrated. So I think everybody's happy that's over. And they're starting to expand their circles of trust and seeing other kids or, you know, at home or going for bike rides. But it's been particularly bleak for the teens and these college guys I see. And
so what advice do you have?
Well, I'll tell you the stories, and then there it is. And one of them last night came in, his eyes were gleaming. I couldn't see behind his mask, but I knew he was smiling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? He said, I got a girlfriend. I'm like, what? You're the first guy I've met in 3 months. Got a new girlfriend. And he was hanging out at the park and started talking with her. He was going to the park in the evenings, just hanging out. Started talking to her. His parents love her. It was great. And then the other kid, you know, most of these guys, the kids have lost their summer jobs or internships. And another teen, junior in high school, is looking at just hanging out at home all summer and gaming. And I got him online on a Zoom call, and he's all happy. I'm like, what's going on? He said, I got a full-time job as an electrician's apprentice.
Okay, so, Craig, is the message kids need a purpose?
They do. They need to be productive. They got to get on and do something. So for the other kids, what I'm recommending is same wake-up time, same bedtime. Even if it's later, that's fine. Teens like to stay up later.
Well, I want to know what to do with kids like between 8 and 10 or 8 and 12. If you can hang on, that's fine. If not, we can take you another time. That is an important challenge. So we have another couple of hours to go on the Troubleshooter Show. Stick around, and Cliff, we'll talk about your accident. Bryce, we'll talk about your leasing issue. All of that coming up.
My part-time...
All right.
National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community. I call home. I'm a neighbor because my service is
That's a great burger.
Yeah,
so really is.
What?
My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country. Well, Tom, you don't have to be a member of the club to use their food service. Oh, really?
So, but you can't go there, right?
Yeah, you can.
Broadcasters Association at this station.
There's fruit salads there.
Okay. I thought
Doesn't matter. You can go there as a restaurant.
Yeah.
You're sure of that? I didn't know that at all.
Hey, Mark?
I can take my kids, walk up there, and go in and eat.
If you live here, I'm 91.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing a commercial there.
I am in before after.
Portions of the
I
following
just
program
sent this over to Susan to tell her to deal with her. I'm not dealing with this lady.
Mark, give me her email. Also, do you recall the monthly on that for me?
I don't know. No, all the contracts are signed, and she doesn't want to do anything that has to do with them. She says, you changed stuff, they started late, all this shit. So I have no idea. I told Susan to get from her what the fuck she thinks they owe.
Mark, did you send me the email?
I am right now.
Do you have his email by any chance?
No, I don't.
On his neck, telling him he couldn't breathe. Minnesota's governor says the violence can't continue. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz forcefully saying he expects that justice in George Floyd's death will be swift.
Suzanne, what's that lady's name?
The governor is calling for the looting and violence stand.
Wilson said they were on fire. The fire still roll in our streets. The ashes are symbolic of...
That really was one of the more graphic.
When did they start, Mark?
City and state police to help secure Minneapolis with the goal of stopping the violence. Alex Stone, ABC News.
This is ABC News. Tomorrow, SpaceX and NASA.
When did they start?
Launched the Falcon 9 rocket with veteran NASA.
I got a question for you, Doc. Do you think there would have been less violence if everybody wouldn't have been unemployed right now?
When the adrenaline dump happens and then there is no launch,
No. I think there would have been. I really do.
In 1999, her shuttle mission was
I think people are unemployed.
Mark, do you remember when the commercial started?
This is why they're bored.
I think that's a good point.
I'm putting a spacesuit on. You just can't. Because when you put a spacesuit on, you really might put a spacesuit on.
I'm sorry, Mark, did you say when the commercial started?
The hardest part about her scrub launches, she tells me, was facing her mom afterwards. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Good news for hungry
So we don't know what month they started.
To bring back its famous free samples. Previously were pulled in March over safety concerns due to coronavirus. They returned in mid-June with some health and safety checks in place. Will Carp, ABC News.
Right now, home sweet home has never been sweeter. Our homes are more important than ever, and finding people who trust to take care of them is just as important. For over 20 years, Home Advisor has been connecting homeowners with trusted local plumbers, electricians, roofers, and more. And now we're making it easier than ever for great pros to join the Home Advisor network.
This is why.
Look at the size of this bus there.
Wow. This is why I think all kids should have some job.
Oh, I think
Keep them out of trouble. If they don't spend money.
What about, like Tom, what about 8 or 10-year-olds?
Oh, but they don't.
All teenagers.
Right.
Right. The ones that could be looting.
Right.
Service for restrooms uses a sanitizer effective against certain germs.
And that's why it would pay to even make up jobs to give them stuff. People don't realize if you don't have a purpose in life, your life goes down. You look for trouble. If you're young, if you're old, you lose.
Now when you're old.
After the death of a black man in Minneapolis at the hands of police. Gunshots were heard, although no one was reported hit. Vandals damaged some cars in the area, and vandals also spray-painted the Capitol building and broke several of its windows. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock saying he understands why people are upset.
Oh, come on, Hancock.
During protests.
Let's demonstrate peacefully. Leave the weapons home and let's march together.
Mark, I don't have it.
Let's have our voices heard.
I don't have your email.
Governor Polis also urging protesters to be peaceful.
Yeah, I do. Thanks.
Public Schools releasing a video with initial plans for what in-classroom learning may look like in the fall.
We expect that all adults and students will be required to wear masks. Hand sanitizer will be available throughout the school, and staff and students will be given regular breaks to wash their hands frequently.
And temperature checks to be done daily. I'm David Kane. Now, impact traffic. This report is sponsored by DuckDuckGo Privacy.
One crash clears, another one pops up. Actually, that stalled vehicle downtown, northbound I-25 approaching Colfax, has been removed from traffic, so all lanes are open. It's good news there. There's a crash.
Mark, who is Tim?
Did you have commercial?
Crashes in Castle Pines and Happy Canyon and Laggy Road, so just watch out for that. Police are on the scene if you can't avoid the area. The rest of the drive both on and off the highway across town in fairly decent shape. The weather forecast can be about a 30% chance of afternoon thunderstorms today with a high near 88. Tonight a slight chance of storms early, an overnight low of 60. Right now, 74. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Fed up with companies selling your data? DuckDuckGo is...
I just need to know the name of their rep. It's not a woman. I see a Tim here.
With one download,
Marine or whatever Suzanne said.
I see Tim.
DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
I wish every single home service company did what Master Router Plumbing does.
Who is this
which is
Tim?
great service, on-time service, 24/7 emergency service, all with good pricing. Yes! Plumbers that aren't going to charge you an arm and a leg. They're going to do the job. They're going to do it.
Hey, Tom?
Yeah.
Since you had Brent from Ideal Home Loans, you want me to count it down for this?
Yes. Yes.
Sewer line repair. These guys will do it. They'll save you a lot of money. Write this number down, 720-434-3406. Master Router Plumbing, 720-434-3406.
Stay safer at home during the COVID-19.
Back in about 30 seconds.
Socialize in groups of 10 or fewer, but you're safer at home. If you must socialize, keep it small. Keep it safe. Keep your distance. Learn more at COVID-19.
Nothing.
It's the Dan Caplis Show.
Did you see what I said, Susan?
Yeah.
Dan, can you imagine having first and second grade kids wear a mask all day?
Kids aren't really susceptible to that stuff. That's mute.
Troubleshooter, welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome. Let's talk and see what we can do for you, okay? We are here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take complaints. We had on earlier Craig, who's been checking in with us, Craig Nippenberg, on children and what to do with them. And it all boils down to they need a sense of purpose or belonging or something to do. One guy was thrilled he had a girlfriend. Another guy was thrilled that he had a job. And basically, it all boils down to doing something. And then the younger ones as well. He couldn't hang on, but he has a lot of useful tips. Plus, you can find out about his Facebook feed and all of that at WeListenToKids.com. WeListenToKids.com. So welcome to the show. This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. 25% off when you use Tom in the promo code. It's Panacea Life Sciences for RealCBDThatWorks.com. Mike has a trusts question. We can get to him. So right now, if we can get Blake Harris on, we can work on that. But I'll take Cliff immediately, who has an accident yesterday. I hope no one is hurt. What's going on with you, Cliff?
Yes, good morning. I never thought I'd be talking to you.
What happened?
I was rear-ended yesterday by a company truck.
Now, are you okay? Did you have any kind of injuries?
No, just a reaction. I'm on TPA and I take an inhaler. Right after the impact, I had to take it right away because I didn't know what that was.
What is your condition? What is that called?
COPD.
Oh, COPD. So listen, Cliff, you were in an accident. You were rear-ended. How bad is your car?
It's awful. It's thousands bad.
Did you have, is it drivable?
Yes.
Did you have a police report?
No, they wouldn't take a report because we exchanged information.
Okay. Now, what's going to prevent them from denying it or saying it was your fault?
Well, once I was hit, I looked up and I see this truck. The guy gets out the truck, comes to my car, "Oh, you're all right?" I said, "We'll see."
No, Cliff, what's going to prevent them if you did not have a police report? What if the guy says it was your fault?
No, I'm getting to that. He come to my car and said it was his fault. He was reading notes.
Good. Do you have that recorded?
No, sir.
Okay. Does he have that in writing somewhere?
No, sir.
So the question I'm going to ask again is, what's going to prevent him from denying everything and saying it's your fault?
That's a good question, Tom.
You see, that's why if you don't have a police report, you need witnesses, because I'm hoping the guy's going to be honorable. Now, this is serious, and you need to report it to your insurance, but you also need to go to him. What's the name of the company?
Fire alarm system.
Okay. And did you got the information? What insurance company do they have?
Well, they have, I got it written down here. I got so much written down.
Okay. Listen, as long as you have the information, did he give a phone number?
Of the company?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I got it. I got it.
Okay. Cliff, what you need to do, you need to call. And remember this, you don't have to argue or deal with his insurance company. Do you have collision coverage?
No.
Okay, how old is your car?
35 years old.
Holy moly.
Cliff, what kind of a car is it?
Model T.
86 Mercury Grand Marquis, mint condition.
Okay.
They're going to offer.
You're
like
not going to get anything for it. You're because you didn't even have it. If it was in mint condition, you should have had coverage. They're going to say that your 86 Grand Marquis. How many miles on it?
147,000.
Okay. They're going to say it's worth $500. So here you're going to have a big problem right now. Now,
how are you feeling? Did it hurt?
Only mentally.
Okay.
Listen, these Grand Marquis, okay? They're going to be seriously. I was kidding about 500. They might be worth anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500, maybe 1,000 to 2,000, 2,500.
Are you sure?
What's
it's
that?
Highly personalized.
No, I understand. But I'm saying that's if that's if it was in mint condition. But you're not going to get. It's more like, listen, a 2002 with 150,000 is only selling for 1,900. You're going to have a problem, bro. You're going to have a big problem because they're going to offer you dirt on this. They are. They're going to offer you dirt. Do you have any idea how much it'll cost to fix? They're going to total it. They're going to total the damn thing. You know your best thing to do, Cliff, I'm just going to be straight with you.
Hey,
if you have any physical injuries at all, your best thing would be is to go after him for injury and then hope you get enough money to get a car. If you have injuries.
I called my insurance company and they say we're going to give you a week to see if you have any injuries. If so, then we'll proceed.
Well, what is your company going to do about injuries?
Well, that's what the lady told me.
But your insurance won't. Why would your insurance cover your injuries?
Tom, you know what? This is my first accident. I'm 61 years old.
Well, you're a young man. Listen, Cliff. Listen. You're 61, bro. You're 5 years younger than me. You're a baby. Let's talk about this. Just get with it, man. Start. Here's what you do.
Tom, that a 92 is between 300 and 500.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. I did misspeak. He said an 86, and I was thinking 2006. You're right. So listen, Cliff, you're not going to get anything, man. If you have injuries, then you should pursue those, and that would help you. But I want you to make a few phone calls. I'm serious, Cliff. You need to help yourself because you don't have anything of value. And your insurance company isn't going to help you. Do you have MedPay coverage, Cliff?
No, sir. Just Medicare.
I'm talking about on your car insurance. Do you have something called MedPay?
Not to my knowledge.
Who is your insurance agent? Who do you deal with?
Hartford.
Hartford. Who do you deal with? Is there an agent you can call?
An agent?
Cliff.
Of the insurance company?
Yeah, an insurance agent. Come on, man. It can't be that difficult. Who do you deal with for your insurance?
The Hartford.
I understand that, but do you throw the check in a river or do you give it to somebody? Do you mail it somewhere? Do you talk to anybody ever?
Well, I pay my bills on my card, through my card.
Okay.
My insurance.
Cliff.
Yes.
You're sounding way more helpless than you should for 61 years old. So tell me, are there any extenuating circumstances? You mentioned COPD. I want to help you out here. Do you have problems with remembering things and normal stuff like that?
No, but when I get jolted or noise,
I get it. I get it. It was jarring and it was disconcerting. I get it. Here's what we want.
Well, his neck and stuff. Some of that stuff doesn't kick in for a few days, man.
Cliff, you need to go. You need to go see someone about your injuries if you have any. You really do. Do you have a primary care doc?
I have a primary care, yes.
I would make an appointment and say you were in a car accident and that you were jostled up a bit and you'd like to know if you have any problems. And then you should probably go see a really good chiropractor. I'm serious. And start looking to see if you have an injury. I'm not telling you to invent injuries, but I'm telling you if you have any injuries, you should try to collect from the other company on them so at least you can get yourself some transportation.
There lies another problem because I called their insurance company and they claim that another company has took over the truck insurance for them.
God, you're going to be so screwed. Okay.
I can feel that, yeah.
Okay. Here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to call the company that hit you, find out who their insurance is, and then we're going to ask them if the guy reported it. You got the guy's name?
The guy that hit me?
Yeah.
Yes. Jason Jones.
Okay, we're going to have Deputy Doc call to find out if Jason Jones reported it and what they plan to do, okay? And then you need to figure out how much it will cost to fix your car. Now, do you take your car anywhere to be serviced?
It's not going to matter. It's going to be totaled absolutely.
Well, I have to agree with this. I forget the guy's other name who was talking.
That was my friend Mark.
Mark, yeah, I know Mark. Yes, I pretty much agree with what he just said. But that's kind of I know life stinks, but look at this car here.
Okay. Okay.
This is a perfect example, though. I do believe it's in great shape. It gets him from point A to point B, but the problem is he will never replace that car for $200-300.
No. Cliff, you're going to have a tough time getting a car. And you use your car a lot, don't you?
Yes, I do, sir. And believe me, I do. That's why I keep up on it.
Okay. I still would find out how much it would cost to fix. And the reason I say that, Mark, even if they don't pay...
Just get me his info. I'm gonna help this guy out personally.
Good. Get his info to Mark. Mark, I would still call that company, because here's what I'm thinking.
We've got a few things up our sleeve here. I'm gonna be calling some
exactly.
people.
Okay, Cliff, hang on. We're going to try to help you off the air, okay? 303-713-TALK. Mike, you have a trust question we'll take right after this.
Clear. Nothing is break. You're good.
Thanks, man. That's so sad.
So are you the type of guy that wants to look put together? Doesn't want to spend hours shopping?
He's not 61.
This is why there's
He's not? No, he's older than that. He's on Medicare.
Could be on Medicare disability.
He said Medicare.
No, not Social Security.
He sounds like he's at least 90.
There's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time to refresh your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix. Personal styling for everybody. When you start getting into debt, it can be a little bit at a time, but it can quietly build up.
Okay, it's not calling.
Tied to some of your credit cards or personal loans can cost you a lot of money, but it doesn't have to be this way. Hey guys, it's Ross Kaminsky, and if you're a homeowner, you can refinance any high-interest debt into your mortgage at a much lower rate, creating up to maybe $1,000 a month in monthly savings.
I don't know what happened, no. Hey, what was I going to tell you? I'm wondering if it will be total, if he can just get it bought back and fix it very basically. Why? No, he is. That's why I say if he bought it back from them. You know, if it might just be a bumper. Because that is a tank of a car. A pickup. So, he's going to have to drive with a smashed up vehicle. It is problems. Where the hell? It's a problem for the space shuttle, because if it hits you. So third-degree murder is manslaughter.
Mark, you don't have any idea when we started the commercial. Come on, man. Do you have any of the old emails?
No, all the ones I have is we're not starting yet. I look back.
Tom Martino here. 713-TALK, 713-8255. Mike, you have a question? Go ahead, Mike. What's happening?
Well, I want to know if you have anybody on your list that specializes in settled pooled trusts.
That settles trust, did you say?
Settled pooled trust.
Settled pooled trust. If I knew what it was, I could take a stab at it. We'll get somebody on to talk to it. But it's called a settled pool trust?
Yes, first party, second party, or third party.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is it for disability?
It's to protect people's assets. Like if they're getting Social Security, it protects them from losing their Social Security just because they have income or assets.
Oh, I get it. It says here.
I'm sorry. Did he say Medicare trust?
No, he said a pooled trust.
Okay.
A pooled trust, according to what I'm reading here, is an established and administered nonprofit organization for self-settled pooled trust, whatever the hell that means. Each subsequent, we're going to get Blake Harris to talk about it, and then we'll figure it out. Settled pooled trust, and we'll have him talk about it. I know I've heard about.
What's he trying to achieve, though?
Is this happening to you, by the way?
Is what happening to me?
Do you have this going on, a settled pooled trust or whatever you call it?
No, I need to set one up.
Oh, okay. So you anticipate getting a settlement of some kind?
Yes.
And you don't want it to affect what? Your disability, your Social Security, or what?
One of those, yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get an idea of what to talk to Blake about when he asks us. So you are about to get money. You don't want it to interfere with anything, so you want to set up this trust. Okay, we'll figure it out. I don't want to take a stab in the dark at it. I just Googled it just to see what a pool trust is in general, and I don't think this is what we're talking about, because this one says a pool trust will protect a family member. It says okay, it does say this. Beneficiaries of programs like SSI and Medicaid must be quite poor to qualify, and they can lose their benefits when they come into an inheritance. Oh, this is exactly what you're doing. Or receive money in their names for an accident settlement, or merely accumulate too much money in a bank account. Beneficiaries can prevent this from happening by transferring their excess assets into an individual special trust. Okay, a pool trust, also known as whatever, is a special trust with a twist. An individual with special needs trust, that's what they're calling it, is created for oneself or by someone for the benefit of a specific beneficiary. And a pool trust is established I don't know. The bottom line is, it's exactly what you said. It's established so it doesn't affect someone's benefits. But I don't even understand that. So again, we'll figure it out if you want to hang on. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. One thing we have not discussed at all, which I thought we would definitely discuss, is the rioting or looting or civil disobedience in Denver. There wasn't really looting, but there were a lot of people protesting and demonstrating downtown Denver last night. And it got pretty active. Nothing compared to Minneapolis, but it was pretty bad. Mark, you're the first one that alerted me to it. And, I went on and saw some of the news, and it's basically a bunch of people unhappy with what happened with that police officer basically choking to death that black man. It sucks. And really,
for the life of me, I'll never understand, and I don't think, like you said, there was any in Denver, but the looting. I don't know how all of a sudden you want whatever you want, so you go into Target and steal stuff and light stuff on fire. I mean, it's the craziest thing.
Well, okay, here's what they're saying. George Floyd, of course, his unjust death, they're saying needs to be, obviously addressed. And they're holding signs saying, I can't breathe, and, hands up, don't shoot. But you're right.
Not when they're breaking into Target.
But did you hear, this was such a terrible thing, and Ross Kaminsky played it. There was a black man standing outside of a store saying, please don't rob me. He says, this is not, that you're not hurting anyone but me, a black man. I came up from the ghetto myself. Please don't take my computer. He was crying and yelling. It was so sad. And really, anyone I talk to who thinks the looting and the protesting is terrible, that's why. Because they're saying they don't care about justice for George Floyd. I
bet the guys running out of Target with TVs don't even know his name.
And Mark, you keep saying Target. Not in Denver, there wasn't a Target, but was that in Minneapolis?
No, that was in Minneapolis.
Okay. You're right. People were simply stealing.
The mayor allowed them to torch the entire precinct, one of the police stations.
Well,
what a moron.
So, and then I-25 was blocked by protesters. Here's the bottom line. We know an injustice was done. I don't think anyone says, oh, good for that police officer. He was resisting. He deserves it. I think everyone was outraged by that. I mean, you could see the guy just kneeling on him. We all are outraged. Now, how we express that outrage, that is where we differ. I don't want for a minute for people to think I'm some kind of weird masochist who think this is a wonderful thing. This is a terrible thing, and there should be justice, and the cop that did it was arrested, and there should be a full trial and investigation.
Third-degree murder.
It's terrible. I mean, I don't even know why he was doing it. It was so odd, and he was so calm, and the poor guy's crying, saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And I'm wondering, but what about the police officers that were looking on? That part I don't. Weren't there police officers?
None of them did anything. And how come their asses weren't arrested, too?
Well, they should be.
If I sat around and watched you kill somebody and did nothing, my ass would be in jail.
I mean, there is such a thing called excessive force. Listen, nobody's doubting that people need to be subdued, but then within reason. Yes, Ants.
To be honest, the reason he was so calm about it, to me, cops obviously with his he already has a history of racial charges and everything like that. He already has a history of that. He wasn't kneeling on a human being. To him, he was kneeling on an animal. He was kneeling on a criminal. He didn't see that person as a human being. That's why he was so calm about it.
It's disgusting.
That makes sense.
Now,
because he was calm as a cucumber.
Do we know if there were how many cops were watching?
4. I think 3.
Yeah, 3.
3 or 4? Okay. 3? So were any of them black?
No, I do not believe so. I know there was an Asian cop, and I'm not sure the race of the other two
cops. No, but this guy and the Asian cop both had. This guy, I think, had 18 priors, whatever those are. Incidents.
Yeah, he had 18,
I guess they're not technically priors.
18 prior accounts of
Deputy Dan, what did you want?
Questionable stuff.
Also, apparently they worked at they were both bouncers at a bar right across the street from where it all happened.
So the cop knew the guy.
What's the relevance of that?
Well, the relevance is that he knew the guy. It wasn't like it was some stranger. I mean, he knew the guy. But does anyone know why, or Ants, do you know why was the guy subdued to begin with? What was the whole deal?
Well, what had happened was that the store owners had complained of they thought that somebody was using a counterfeit bill, and then he came in after they had made this complaint. Whenever the officers had gotten into the store to investigate. So then the officers thought the $20 bill that he was using looked suspicious. That's when they followed him out, talked to him, the altercation happened, and then, everything transpired from there.
Yeah,
so
but it
all started from investigating a fake counterfeit $20 bill.
But even the altercation was mostly all the cop. The guy looked like he was doing everything he was told to do.
What they said was he was resisting. Obviously, we didn't see what happened before that. But even if
you do. No, Tom, there's video out there. The guy looks like he's fine. He's not throwing a fit or anything.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it. How they do this. I mean, and how they make these claims. Don't they know that everything nowadays is videotaped, for God's sakes?
Hey, Mark, I just want to say, if you watch somebody commit a crime, there's no proscription that you have to act. I think with cops it may be different.
No. They were basically, in my opinion, almost participating in the crime. And yes, if I participate in a robbery, I'm not the one walking out with the TV, my ass is in trouble.
You said if you saw a crime being committed and didn't do anything, your ass would be in jail. And that's not true. There's no proscription.
If I walked into your house with Tom, and Tom freaking killed you,
No,
Doc,
that's true.
yes,
He's
my
right.
ass would be in trouble.
If you're standing by watching someone be murdered, you're an accessory. If it's one of your friends,
damn
I'm
right
not talking about walking down the street, Doc,
he was talking about.
We're not talking about that. He means that me and him are obviously friends. If I go to kill somebody and he just stands and watches, he can't do that.
Right.
I mean, obviously you can't do that. These cops, no one's going to say that these cops are clean. The ones that watch this are ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, and it shouldn't have happened. So the thing is, we do have a duty. We do have a duty not to stand by and watch a crime being committed when we're with somebody or when we're in a group. We can also become accessories, or if we don't turn someone in, if we know about a crime.
And you've got to wonder about the person videotaping that. The different video.
Okay, what about that, by the way?
They could have done something.
Well, I thought that was the cops.
I'm glad they videotaped.
No. They did. They told them to let them up. They didn't jump in the melee, but they did tell them. But
that's another thing, though. If you're a bystander, a pedestrian, a good way to get yourself killed would be to try to get that cop off him. I mean, come on.
These people were cops too, though. It's a problem.
No, I know that. I'm not talking about the other cops. I'm talking about anybody who would have witnessed this. We would be crazy to interfere with police because that would give them another
my God.
excuse.
They would have they'd kill you too.
Exactly.
What happened?
But I'm watching the video now, and I swear to God, the guy is not flailing around. He's not doing anything except saying, "Please, I can't breathe." It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And you know, I can see why people are outraged, but why would you go to a black man's business and destroy it? I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, because those aren't the real protesters. Those are thieves.
And they're looking for excuses. But do you see that one big fat cop looking over at the guy? He's just standing there. He should say, "Hey, bud, let's get him up, okay? Look at that big fat guy. That guy should not, that Officer Potsy, he shouldn't be standing there watching him.
He was fired.
He shouldn't. That guy was fired too?
Yeah.
He should be fired, for God's sake."
Here's going to the other side, though. I'm staring at a picture right now that's live, and someone wrote on one of the police buildings, "Good cops or dead cops." So,
Well,
I mean, my God, talk about throwing fuel on the fire.
Look, obviously, we don't, the sane people don't want to see cops die. We want to see these kinds of cops taken off the street. Now, when did the guy, see this black man walk up and point? He was probably saying something. Now, when did the guy actually die, though? When did that happen? That's what I want.
Shortly after.
In the ambulance.
Okay, in the ambulance. Now, that is a serious thing, man. That is serious. That is murder. There were onlookers saying, leave him alone, and the cop having words. God, this is disgusting. So I see the outrage, but you don't go out and start destroying people. You just don't do it. Okay,
you know what's weird, man?
Yeah.
It's so easy for me to talk and you to talk, but never in my life do I think I've ever been profiled because of the color of my skin. I don't understand.
No, but I will say, Mark, honest to
God,
God,
nor do I do it.
No, we haven't been profiled. We're fortunate. But I do know that officers, I do know that there are cops that can be a-holes, and I'm telling you, it's for no reason. I believe you can use common sense. You don't always have to believe everyone's out to kill you. I mean, I remember helping a family in a van, a family with little kids stuck in the middle of traffic. All I did was pulled up behind him, and I was arranging a tow truck. Alaramis was on the phone with me. They were going to send a tow truck. The cop pulls up and starts talking to them. And I said, "Okay, ma'am." I said, "The tow truck will be here in a few minutes." He said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I was just stopped to help." He says, "Get over there now." I said, "Okay, but I just want to," I said, so he reaches for his gun and says, "I said now." Now here is an ass pointing at his gun, and I'm trying to help this family. Okay, so I did, because I knew damn well the next thing would be he'd choke me down to the ground or hold me to the ground and try to say I was interfering. So I went over to the curb, and guess what? They refused. He said, "We'll take care of this." And then the woman lost her van because it had to be towed at her expense, and I was going to cover everything. So there is where you have, by the way, that's Inglewood Police. And the reason I mention it is because they are a-holes and they are disgusting people, but there are police that bring this out in you. Why? They don't have to do that. They can use common sense. It's obviously not a riot. Somebody's trying to help someone. And why would you have the city tow truck come and charge this woman hundreds of dollars and eventually lose her van when she could have had it done all free and her car repaired, and they could have been home free? Why? Because, Mark, they get this fever, and anyone knows it. Power. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame. But here's why they're going to tell you. Well, we don't know when someone is going to pull a gun and kill us. We have to protect ourselves. But good cops, they know how to act. They don't go off the deep end. This guy was a disgusting person. You could tell. Kneeling on that guy's neck, wasn't even fazed by it. That was the terrible thing. And every cop there looking on should be fired. We have more coming up.
Did you say you were profiled?
No,
I can talk about that later, though.
What's that, Ann?
I'll talk to you.
All right.
They were fired.
Yeah, they were fired.
And I just said no. He was just charged with third-degree manslaughter.
On it too.
Yeah. Third-degree manslaughter. That's the charge.
Coming up about 50 seconds.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what it is.
Impact traffic.
That's what it would be more manslaughter. It would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think.
But you know what? You know what the cops say? The fucking cops say if you can talk, you can breathe. That's it. I've seen that on so many live police shows. They'll say, well, if you
Well, then how do they know, though, they're killing someone?
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
He must have broken his trach there or something.
That's their answer.
What do you think he did, though, that killed the man?
I don't know.
I think he had issues, though. I think the guy had some.
It might have been a heart attack after the lack of oxygen. But they always say if you can talk, you can breathe.
I think he had some medical thing. I thought they said.
Want the same internet, but
Let me tell you.
God, they piss me off when they do that shit. They
Fucking Rapmo sheriffs. Look how fucked up they are. I mean, what they did to my son was a fucking bad deal. And I tell my son, you're lucky you weren't black.
all for free.
The cops think that badge gives them absolute.
Flexident of Colorado.com. Paintless dent repair. And if you need it, just call them at 303-619-6273. Here's what you get. You get Flexident of Colorado champs like Nick and the boys to fix it, and you'll never know it was there. They don't report to Carfax. It doesn't detract from the value of your car because the paint is not even touched. You get free pickup and delivery or rental cars. Call for details. 303-619-6273. Flexidentofcolorado.com.
These days, business means navigating uncertainty.
So, Mark.
Constantly changing situations.
Oh, he's not there.
So looking for one trusted
He's not
source
there.
that will keep you informed daily.
No, well, like I said, and then there's blue code. That's what pisses me off.
And is there a way at all to look into the system and see when lives on a particular client started? Is there any way to know? Like, is it written on the spot or anywhere?
Like whenever you started doing commercials?
Yeah, but like, we're just trying to figure out when they started.
If you're new to dental, what particular
QC. QC.
Okay,
I agree with him.
We think it was May, but we're not sure.
I'm not sure if I can go back and check. Let me ask. I'll ask some of the other what I was trying to ask.
And that was George Brown.
All right, good. Thanks.
I'll ask around.
And
This Sunday, Peace to You brings you encouragement and a fresh, uplifting start to your week. Peace to You comes to you.
you get George Brockler on.
Here on 630
So I could bring that up about Pat Sullivan. I would bring it up.
At Bell and Pollock. I know these guys. They're real. They genuinely care about their clients, and I endorse them.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
My dad did.
Mark was asking me before we left had I ever racially profiled before, and I did have a story, but if you're not gonna do it, if you're gonna.
No, I want to. Listen, we're going to come back to it. By the way, Mark, I found out when they started.
No,
on
he's not there. He's not there.
Okay. I found out, Ants.
From the biggest name.
All right, cool.
Partnership with the 2020 census, which gives you the
On 4:30, they said it starts Monday. Monday would have been
2020 census.
May.
Then listen to iHeartRadio's new podcast, Commencement. Speeches are out now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
No, it makes me mad.
May 4th.
That was so blatant. Just like that. You remember that one where the guy was running away?
Oh, right.
I hope he got murdered. That should have
They did try to murder.
Okay, second degree.
I know, but it wasn't murder.
Which is the #1 killer on all
But like those guys in the pickup, I know you guys want in the pickup and do that. To me, that's manslaughter too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But no, they were saying murder. So it's not murder. I mean, because the shots weren't fired until the guy grabbed the gun. But what he did was wrong by bringing the gun out.
Yeah.
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
Mark is there now.
303-713-TALK. I want to switch gears, then we'll go back. We'll go back to that discussion, if you want, on the cop that was charged with third-degree manslaughter, and the other cops. Were the other cops charged too? No, we don't know yet. Okay, in Minneapolis, and then, of course, the riots that ensued around the country. And the thing is, it's disgusting. We all agree it's disgusting, and there is a problem. There is a defect in some police, like with any segment of the population, and it's unfortunate when they become cops because it casts a bad shadow on the good cops. But right now, Mike has a question about something I've never heard of. Blake Harris is with us, attorney at law. He's with Mile High Estate Planning. And if you put a .com on that, you'll get a milehighestatePlanning.com. Blake Harris, have you ever heard of a settled pooled trust? And basically, Mike is saying he's going to come into some money and wants to do this trust because it does not affect eligibility for social programs. Have you heard of them, Blake?
Yes, a pooled trust is a type of special needs trust that allows an individual to continue to receive government benefits such as SSDI, and it allows them to maintain that money that they receive. Otherwise, they could become ineligible for Social Security.
But why is that fair, though, Blake? If you really think about it, if somebody got $1 million and it's in a trust somewhere for them, and they're in a nursing home on Medicaid's dime, why would that be fair? Or if someone is on, I don't know, or SSI or something, or disability, regular.
What does fair have to do with it, though?
No. What I meant was anyone else who has money is not allowed to partake in the social programs. So why should someone else who has this trust be allowed to do it? That's the simple question, Blake.
Tom, I don't make the rules. I take advantage of them for my clients, and I can help people protect their money and use trust to protect it.
So can anyone, okay, let's say I want to put my mom in a nursing home under Medicaid. Can I do a pool trust for her so her assets can go into that?
So a pooled trust is typically only appropriate for individuals with small amounts of, it's a small special needs trust. Anybody can set up a special needs trust, but a pooled trust is appropriate when there are several beneficiaries with a small amount, and it doesn't make sense for each one to have their own investment manager. They can pool, it's basically a pooled special needs.
Okay, so Mike, Mike who called in, you might be thinking of just a regular special needs trust, Mike, as opposed to a pooled trust, unless you know several individuals in this boat?
I have a financial advisor that's assisting me in this, and he said he's looking for someone who specializes in third-party settled pool trusts to get info and possibly set one up for me.
Okay, and the money you have coming is from what kind of settlement?
It's inheritance.
An inheritance?
Yes.
Okay.
And so roughly how much?
Yeah, Mike, no one knows who you are. We're just wondering so we can answer questions for real cases. So about how much?
200,000 or more.
Okay, so let's say 200,000. See, that's what I meant, Mark. Like if anyone has $200,000, they're not going to be eligible for a lot of programs. So why does this trust make it possible?
Tom, because that's the rules. Just like bankruptcy. Some people use those rules to get ahead in life.
But what I mean is this.
The rules are the rules.
Here's what I meant. I don't want the answer as to rules. What I meant by that is, are there special restrictions or something? When I say, why is this allowed, what I mean is, does this trust have special restrictions or distribution rights? Or is it like a bank account? I just go get money whenever I want. Blake.
So, yes, there are certain restrictions on it. But going back to your previous question where I kind of blew you off, Tom, the reason that it is allowed is because the money is coming from someone else. If you want to protect money that you are receiving from a third party, that is easier to protect than it is money that is your own. It's a long-standing rule. If you're trying to protect your own money, the courts scrutinize that, Medicaid will scrutinize that. But if it's money that you never had control of from the beginning, then it's something that is easier to set up.
Okay, so if this money is coming from an inheritance and I put it in this trust, is it my money to use anytime I want?
Well, no, certainly not. There has to be limitations. Otherwise, Medicaid would consider an available asset. It would disqualify you from Medicaid or SSDI.
And that's what I was asking. What are the restrictions on these kinds of trusts? I think everyone would like one.
Well, for one, you have to set it up before you receive the money, typically, or you have to set it up and then wait several years to apply for Medicaid. But things such as you can't use it to pay for past debts, you can't use it to pay for vacations for family members or burial plots or income taxes. You can use it for your living expenses such as food or medical necessary expenses that the government is not going to pay for. You're allowed a certain...
But if Mike is already on public assistance of some kind and he's anticipating getting this, There's nothing wrong with him setting it up in anticipation.
Absolutely not. I do have one question for Mike. The individual who you are going to be inheriting from, have they passed away yet?
Mike?
Yes.
They have.
Yes, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes, they have. Okay, so then the money is going to probably go through probate, and you may need to request from the probate court that the money not be paid directly.
No, there's no probate. There's no probate.
The money. Okay, so
he must be a beneficiary.
Yes.
Okay, so
no probate.
So he has to request from who that the money go directly to the trust, Blake?
Where's this money coming from?
From the estate, I imagine, right, Mike? Is it an insurance policy? Is it a bank account?
Yeah, like what is it?
No, it's a bank. It's a bank account.
Okay.
And he's the direct beneficiary.
So I would set up the trust and see if you can get the bank to distribute that money directly to the trust, so it never actually comes into your name directly.
Right. But who in Denver are you?
You're talking to him. You're talking to him.
Are you a person that might? Will you let me talk, please? Are you a person who my financial advisor can talk to about this and possibly setting one up?
Absolutely, yes. We can set up special needs trusts. We set them up. I can't say that I'm an expert or a specialist in pooled trust.
Got a break soon.
Pooled trust is a type of special needs trust, which we definitely have the ability.
Why do you keep calling them special needs?
A pooled trust is a type of special needs trust.
What makes it special needs? We can answer that after this. I'm Tom Martino.
I need his number.
Okay, hold on. We will.
All right, nothing this break. You're good.
Now, impact traffic. This report is sponsored
Why wouldn't you let him talk?
privacy. There's a whole lot of trouble spots across town at this time. Off highway, several accidents. Got a wreck at 6th and Montgomery.
You wouldn't let him talk. Man, you're tough. You're tough. Of course, just ask Milo how tough you are. Milo barked at you and you cut his nuts off. I know. He'll never play tennis like that again. Hey, Mark, I looked up that Grand Marquis, and it could be worth like $1,700.
DuckDuckGo is on it. They help millions of people like you.
No, average retail from JD Power NADA says average retail $1,650.
All for free. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So they can't.
Oh yes, I did. Yes, I did. That was the guy that got his car confiscated by Denver. You gotta get a good alligator. Wasn't it red too?
While millions of Americans are focused on staying safe,
So if you're going to help this guy, Mark, I would try to push for like $1,800. So just to let you know, low retail $825, average retail $1,650, high retail $2,500.
Again?
Yeah.
Let's say this guy knew what he was doing, or Mark did, and went online and found 86 marquees somewhere. Could he force that insurance company to buy that so that he's made whole?
That's a possibility. Not force him to buy it, but that can be used as a comp. That's what you're supposed to get, is comps.
Right.
You know, the NADA.
So if there was one for sale.
Right. So, he would actually, he said excellent condition, but it's really tough to say. You can see the interior, the body,
right.
But what about the engine? You don't really know, right? But you're right, that's what you want to do, is get the best one, and get the comps for that. One that's not rusted out, all that.
Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free book and talk to a specialist to discover.
Well, I would think that the only 86 marquees running are people who took good care of them.
Good point. That's
Right?
a great point. Or it's people that's all they can afford. And
But it would be dead. It's a 40-year-old car, right? Either it's in great shape or it's going to be in a junkyard.
Probably.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
800-493-1717.
Or it's a tough one and just been treated badly, but it's still kicking.
I doubt it. It's 40 years.
At or near the lowest in history. But you didn't want to start a 30-year loan again?
For 34 years.
For my friends at American Finance.
Hey, but download Ross's podcast. It really is just the last part. His last.
I should go stock up on food. Is that the?
What's that?
Should I go stock up?
No. You just gotta. That's the very end where he gave that. He said, what do you see for the future? Because Ross really thought it was going to be an uplifting conversation. It wasn't. It was for this guy. Everything that he brought up, the countries and whatever. So, like Venezuela. Venezuela used to have the highest per capita in the world.
But they had a one-product economy.
Well, they got more than one. They had oil, you say.
That's
right?
it.
No, they have apparently they have minerals too.
But oil was 90%.
Yeah, so you're right. But like say, they went to a socialist.
Right.
And then that's what happened.
Right. Maduro just didn't.
It was before Maduro. It was going down.
Right. But Maduro really gave all these social benefits.
Right.
And then when the money stopped coming in, the country was broke.
Even with the money coming in,
that's what happens in socialist governments.
But usually in socialist government, there's like communism. You got the higher ups funneling all the money to them. Lowers get their pittance. But seriously, I'm going to tell Ross that was really. And he's had this guy on. What do they say, Munger? Is that Munger? Professor, he's a professor. Munger?
Lowe's has you covered with 12-month special financing to help with the unexpected. And up to 40%
I'm gonna look that up.
appliances, including the best brands to fit your style and budget.
You know what's interesting? I was reading last night, Dan, about these antibody tests.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting is that the more people that are affected by the disease, the better the positive predictive value. The fewer people that are affected, the better the negative predictive value.
Why is that?
Because of the way the statistics work.
Okay. So it is. So right now you can get a test.
So if you have let's say you have 5% of the population has disease.
Okay.
An antibody test is 95%. Well, the positive predictive value is only basically 50%. If you have 50% of the population that are affected with the same test, it's 95%.
Oh, that's just statistics, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Michael Munger, here's a guy.
Okay.
Your next ideal home loan, idealhomeloans.com. 303-867.
He's a libertarian. That's one reason Ross loves libertarians.
Yeah, Tom's a libertarian, I'm a libertarian, you're a libertarian.
I'm not libertarian, I'm conservative.
No, you're not. You believe
Sorry.
in gay marriage? You're a libertarian. A libertarian.
Hi, Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, Mike, by the way, Mike, we will give you milehighestatePlanning.com, and the number is 720-924-6171. So, Mike, did you have any direct questions? We'll shut up, or did you have any observations? And then we'll then I have a few questions for Blake. No, it's fine. Thank you.
I'll leave that to my advisor.
All right, thank you very much, Mike, for calling. Appreciate it. So, Blake, there are options then for people when they receive inheritances or awards from a car accident or something like that to receive them and not jeopardize public assistance.
Yes. To go back to your question earlier of what are these special needs trusts? There are two types of special needs trusts.
I was going to say, before you say that, that's good, but include in your answer, can anyone do it? And then why doesn't everyone do it? Go ahead.
So the two types of special needs trust. There's the third-party trust, which is where mom and dad or grandma and grandpa set up a revocable trust. Inside of that trust, they can include special needs provisions. And really, anytime you create a revocable trust, I don't see any reason not to include special needs provisions, because even if you don't have any children or grandchildren with autism or other types of disabilities, you never know when a family member may have one. That's a third-party special needs trust. The other type is a first party, and this is where you have your own money and you want to set up a trust so that you can still benefit from that money, and then when you still receive government benefits. However, the catch with the first party special needs trust is that when you pass away, you have to leave the remaining funds to Medicaid. So Medicaid does get to come back and take those funds after you pass away.
What if it's not Medicaid? What if it's not Medicaid? What if it's SSDI?
Any type of government benefit that you receive because of these type of trust, they can come back, and they're not going to take the whole trust, but they're going to take the amount of assistance that you received, which in most cases tends to wipe out the
And again, I can't go out and buy a Ferrari or anything. I have to do what is permissible.
Right, there are limitations on it.
Blake, as always, you've been a wealth of information. Blake Harris, attorney at law. MileHighEstatePlanning.com, 720-924-6171. Hey, if you have any questions for Blake, if you have any questions for any of our experts, including bankruptcy experts or car people, today is supposed to be car day, and as we get back to normal, we'll be doing more and more of that. Brian, you're up next after the break. We have more coming up, 303-713-TALK.
The last few months have taught us what's important.
All right, clear, gentlemen.
Taught us what we need to
Change. It's the same for business.
Hey, Casey, what's up?
Multiple software systems when all you need is NetSuite by Oracle. The world's
Mark's on the phone.
Everything okay?
NetSuite gives
Me?
flexibility
Did
and
you
control
close went well?
financials, HR,
Oh, he's talking to
inventory,
me.
Yeah.
e-commerce,
He's so fucking
all
loud.
in one place.
I think he's got a little bit of hearing. I'm sending this to Ross. What a great interview with Professor Munger, and he is spot on, I believe. Mark is on the phone. I imagine he's calling in that car, I assume. I might get this guy's book.
When he's not talking about it, he's tweeting about it. He Twitter, follows the Troubleshooter at RealTomMartino. And stay connected with all of Denver's talk stations on Twitter. Give me your Twitter and I'll follow you. Find us right now at 6.
Doc was saying we're all libertarians, but he just does one little question on that. You say yourself you're conservative, right? You consider yourself conservative. That's how I do this too.
There are some social issues where I'm not, probably. I like my education stance wouldn't be considered that.
No, we've had our
That's where, I'm not a racist. Good.
So murder 3, they said, is manslaughter. It was terrible. It was terrible. This guy said there was looting in Denver. A furniture store not only had broken windows, but they took merchandise. This guy says there was looting in Denver. A furniture store was broken into and took merchandise there. Let me tell you, they do people. When you go to a rally like that, and you have spray cans to spray in the building, you're going there to fuck shit up.
Resources right now being funneled into COVID-19, the search for treatments and the vaccine. A lot of these labs and clinical trials that treat cancer patients have had to shut down because of this. So a lot of anxiety over a setback in the fight against cancer in this country. But there is some hope. Top cancer experts tell us they're still pushing ahead with some trials. They're doing analytical data analysis right now, even if they can't be in the lab. So they're making progress, just not as much as they would have hoped to had this pandemic not hit. Devin Dwyer, ABC News, Washington.
Will Carr, ABC News.
I've always wanted to learn another language, but every time I try, it never sticks. So I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really...
But Doc, I also believe in free trade, and libertarians don't believe in free trade.
No, they told
They do too.
That's total. Libertarian is totally
Absolutely.
free trade.
Why wouldn't they? I don't understand.
I thought they wanted just internal or doing stuff outside, giving money to countries.
No,
that's
libertarians believe
libertarian is
total free trade. They believe in laissez-faire economics.
Okay, but they are, as far as for helping other countries out there, they're not part of that. They don't want to.
Well, it depends. But the point is, I would say most of the people that let me finish. Okay. Most of the people that you and Tom and I know socially are libertarians because almost all of them, they don't give a shit about gay marriage. They want personal freedom, but they're economic conservatives.
But see, you're talking two different things. You're talking socially and you're talking economically.
Well, that's what a libertarian is. They believe in loose social mores and tight economic control.
But you're talking Christian conservative too, as far as with gay marriage. You can't lump.
But they're not libertarians.
What?
Christian conservatives are libertarians.
No, I know it, but like I would say, most conservatives don't care about it. And that doesn't put them into a libertarian, even though I don't think libertarian is bad or anything. I'm just saying I'm a conservative person.
But you're not because you believe.
Why isn't he is conservative?
You believe in gay marriage, right?
I don't care.
Right, then it's not a conservative view.
Well,
why? Are you saying conservative is downright against it?
Yeah, I think that somebody has put that in there. And stuff.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Conservatives everything should be as it was 100 years ago.
I don't know if that's true.
They don't believe in social liberty.
Oh, come on now. I think you're putting too much on them.
No, I think that most conservatives don't believe in the social liberal concepts that you believe in, Tom.
What's that?
Conservatives don't believe in the same liberal social policies that libertarians do.
Okay, so here's one thing, is I'll bet you, if you're a true libertarian, you'd say all drugs should be legal.
That within any
exactly.
Yeah, what you're saying. You're right. Within any group, there are left, right, and mid.
Right.
And most libertarians believe that the drug laws should be amended so that it's not a crime. And the real liberal libertarians, like me,
why do you get to say what it is?
If you want to clean yourself on meth, go right ahead.
Well, the only bad thing about it is, and it's just kind of like you can say like smoking and cigarettes and stuff. I don't even know I'm conservative, and you'd probably say, well, that's okay. But it's okay. I don't care if you sell yourself.
Right.
Don't let me pay for it.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Right. But just like within the Democratic Party, there are right, left, and centrist Democrats.
Same with conservatives too.
And same with libertarians.
Yeah, I'm conservative. You'd say, well, a conservative, you don't believe in recycling. I absolutely believe in recycling. That's why that should be a conservative thing, because we conserve, But a lot of people say, oh, you're just bad for it. No. I think even the oil and gas thing, we should.
But what I'm saying, what differentiates libertarians from conservatives is social policy. Keeping religion out of public places, freedom of choice when it comes to reproductive rights.
I see what you're saying.
Gay marriage.
Tom, you're up here.
What's happening in your life and how can we help you? That's what we love to do. Brian wants to talk to us. Then if you have a problem, question, or complaint, give us a call. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. This is really the only place in media where you get to just voice anything you want. I mean, it could be political, although it's not a political show. It could be financial. It could be economic. It could be personal finance, jobs, career, problems, questions, complaints, referrals. We do it all. We love doing it. So please call. Anytime you're listening, you can call 303-MARTINO, and we will get you on. Otherwise, you call 303-713-TALK. Brian, what happened? What's going on with you and this dealer? What's happening?
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hey, Brian. Sorry for the wait. What's going on, bro?
I bought a used car up Interstate 4 in Tacoma, and they sold it to me with a huge oil leak.
What kind of car?
I had the BMW.
What kind of car?
It's a BMW Z4.
What year?
2006.
Okay.
And the leak was so bad that BMW told me not to even drive the car.
Well, they're allowed to sell a car with an oil leak. I mean, I don't want to be flippant about this, but really they can. I mean, it's up to you to discover what's wrong with that car when you buy it.
Right, but I mean, doesn't that seem like a safety hazard to you?
No. Listen, Brian, I don't think it's good practice to sell a car knowingly with a defect. However, this is something that people do not understand. They are not required to fix that car and to make it perfect. They're not even required to make it near perfect. The car must have a windshield. It must have brakes. And I believe brake lights. There are certain minimal safety standards. It does not include oil leaks.
Okay.
I mean, Brian, it's a simple issue. You bought it, unless you bought it with a warranty. Did you buy it as is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you bought it, did you have it checked out?
No, I did not. They said they checked it out, and I took their word for it.
Did they say in writing, we checked it out, and it's in... So, did they state anything about its condition in writing?
No, it was a verbal.
Yeah.
From the salesperson.
Okay, and how long did it take to discover the leak?
It took about 30 days. I took it for an oil change, and the BMW guy said, don't even drive it.
Well, of course he'll tell you that. I want to know... Really, though, the story is this. What's the oil capacity?
I think it holds 5 quarts.
And how much will it lose in 100 miles?
Well, he said it was down to 1 quart.
Okay.
30 days.
In 30 days. Was it at full capacity when you had it? Did you ever check it to see there were 5 quarts in it to begin with?
Well, that's the thing with the BMW. There's no dipstick. It's a manual thing.
What do you mean it's a manual thing?
You press a button and it tells you if the oil's okay or not.
Well, when you pressed the button, did it say you had 5 quarts when you bought it?
No, it either says okay or low.
Okay. Did it say okay?
Yes, sir.
What does okay mean?
That's a good question.
See, we don't know how much it's leaking. How do you know it's a massive leak?
Is it leaking or is it burning it?
BMW.
When you park it, is it leaking oil?
I'd be hoping it's leaking rather than burning. Is it leaking or burning it? That's a good question.
It was leaking.
Good. Because you can fix that better than you can if it's burning. They're both a pain in the ass. Where is it leaking? Did he say the main seal or where?
Valve cover gaskets and the oil housing.
Yeah, that's...
The oil filter housing.
That's not bad, man. That's not bad. So how much did he quote?
$1,300, Tom.
How much?
$1,300 worth of that.
Okay, Brian, I'm sorry. I keep talking. How much?
$1,300.
That's a BMW. That's actually a good price. Brian, seriously, what did you pay for the car?
$8,000.
God, that doesn't seem to me to be terrible. Maybe, let's see, 06, 13 years. I don't know, man. Did you, for the heck of it, even though they don't owe you anything, did you bring it up to the dealer?
Yeah, he said old cars need attention.
Yeah, they do. You know what? He's absolutely right. I think actually you're not going to be too bad when you put money into that. I would go to one of the people on my referral list, by the way. I wouldn't just go to... Who'd you get that checked by?
Beamer House in Broomfield.
Yeah, I would go... Sure. What's Tom up there? I would go to Tom. Where are you located?
In Broomfield.
Okay, I would go... Where is he? He's up north there somewhere. We're looking it up right this minute. Do you have... that's where I would go. Let's see. Up north. Okay, well... Hands-on Auto Tech in Longmont. Hands-on in Longmont. Okay. He's a good guy. And it's 720-340-4024.
All right. Thank you, Tom.
And get a price from him. But I don't think it's the end of the world, really. I don't think they stung you either way. And hey, is the car nice otherwise?
Yeah, it seems like a good car.
They're cool-looking cars. What color did you get? I hope you say red.
I got blue.
Okay, blue. That's okay. Red, man, red is really cool in that car. But anyway, thanks for calling, and I wish I had better news for you, but it's a lesson for those listening. You can have any number of things wrong with a car, and they don't have to fix it. I mean, really, it could be a bad engine. Now, they can't knowingly lie to you about it. That would be fraud. But even if they know there's a bad engine, as long as they don't say this is in great condition or whatever, and you can prove it, they don't have to say it. They can dance around it. That's what's weird. That's what's weird. Okay, Ben.
Hey, I got an update.
Yeah, on what, Mark?
On the poor guy that got hit by, the company was actually called Fire Alarm Services. The older guy, Cliff.
Yeah. Well, older guy, Mark.
So,
he's 70. He's 61.
He's like you. So
he's
here's
younger
the deal,
than
man.
me, you jerk. Go ahead.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's 61? Because he sounds older than you.
No, he's 61. And when I said you're a young man, he starts laughing like I'm a fool. I like the guy. I wanted to help him.
He's cool.
So what's going on with him?
That's where I was. I was talking to him. But anyhow, I got a hold of the company. They switched insurance companies midstream. They're actually emailing me a copy of the new insurance, and we're going to get this vehicle checked out, and hopefully they're not going to total it because of the circumstance, and we'll get it fixed, but I'll let everybody know.
Oh,
but
that's
he's
great.
okay.
That's great.
Everybody acknowledges it happened. They acknowledge it was their fault. It's all good.
All right. Bennett, what's going on? That's really good they acknowledge that. Bennett, what's happening?
Hey, Tom, I just have two complaints. Earlier, a gentleman was talking about the emissions.
Oh, that's right. He said they hardly do anything anymore. There's no dynamometer. He said there's no tailpipe sniffer. All they did was, what did he say, probe the gas tank? That doesn't sound right to me. And he said,
wait a minute, guys. They can, Tom, you can drive right by when they set up, and you don't even have to stop, and they can give you an emissions.
Yeah, but he said they weren't looking at the tailpipe. But who knows? How would he know, right? Like, they could just be monitoring it, I think. But go ahead, Bennett, finish up. What were you saying?
Well, Tom, to me, the emissions is a ripoff. Now, you tell me how many cars have you and Mark have seen that are smoking or polluting the air?
I don't see that many, but there are cars out there that are polluting. But
usually diesels.
Yeah, and they let the diesels go. They get away with the visible smoke or not?
I don't know, man, but that's usually when I see something smoking, it's like that.
But, Bennett,
what were you going to say, Bennett?
It's certainly better than nothing, the emissions, right?
Well, you know, if you look at the news...
wait a minute. I'm sorry, Bennett. I got to cut you off there. I'll tell you what drives me crazy about Colorado, Tom, is this. We have zero safety inspections. They don't check brake pads. You can ride around with bald tires and do everything else, but you can't have any emissions. That's crap.
No, I know what you mean. Go ahead, Bennett.
And the other, well, I don't know, Tom, if this is a complaint or not, but I went to my dentist yesterday for a cleaning, and I had to pay a copay of $20, which I've never paid in 20 years.
For what?
For their care for their coronavirus, for their masks, their boots.
Oh,
whatever.
It's like a surcharge for COVID protection.
COVID tax.
Yeah, and Tom, why should I have to pay?
You know what?
Don't let them get away with
Bennett,
that.
Bennett,
crap.
Listen, there are companies that do surcharges for things. Not that.
Fuel.
I've never heard that before, but I've heard of fuel for surcharges in different kinds.
And Tom, how many times have you seen the fuel surcharge go away when gasoline was $1 a month ago?
Listen, Bennett, I think it's kind of chicken, you know what? And it's kind of...
Right, and Daphne said that she ran into the same thing.
Really?
So why should I have to pay? If I come down to your radio station as a guest,
yeah,
why should I have to pay for you to be protected?
You know
well,
what?
It's what you're saying. Listen, Bennett, you're going to pay anyway because it's a cost of doing business. It's going to be reflected somewhere. Maybe they thought what they'd like to do is show you they're not raising any of their prices, but you're paying temporarily for this. That's the only thing I can think of. What about when they say shop supplies, or when they say, you know, and Mark and I have talked about this over and over, and I say just build it into the price, but a lot of people, they put that down separately, shop supplies and stuff like that. But
Bennett, do you want us to put them out of business?
Oh, absolutely not.
And we wouldn't. Listen, Bennett, it's what they want to do. They have a right to do it. Now you have a decision. Do you want to keep going to them or not? And that's the way it works, really. Nancy,
well, they told you at the beginning, though.
Yeah, they should have told you we're going to have an extra charge, though, Bennett. Did they do it in the beginning?
They told you at the end. That's a whole different story.
Did they do it at the beginning or at the end, Bennett?
No, they did at the beginning.
Oh, okay,
there was a $20 copay, and I couldn't figure out why.
Okay. Listen, Dave wants to talk about emissions. Nancy wants to talk about the Department of Justice. All of that coming up.
Clear. 30 seconds until you're...
They wear masks anyway.
Yeah.
Who?
Dennis.
So I searched my symptoms on Google, and now
mine doesn't.
really uncomfortable.
Can we make it? Should we cut early and go?
The dentist doesn't wear a mask when he
One download, you can.
All right, 10 seconds, fix it 24/7 shorts, all for free.
Is mine? I wonder if that means online.
Tom's got a commercial in 10.
So your burger was worth it? That's a good burger, isn't it?
Okay.
Am I up?
Fix it 24.
I'm sorry. Fix it 24/7. I'm excited to tell you about getting an expert in your home, whether it be plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains. If you're having a problem, just $39 for any service call. But this service call doesn't really amount to a service call. If you have the work done and you get a complete diagnostic, they subtract the $39 or credit you that. And that's Fix It 24/7. FixMyHome.com for any plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains. And believe me, they have value and they have honesty and ethics. 720-526-3939.
When it comes to your interest rate will help you save money in the long run.
All I see is a horror-loving mirror.
Yeah, watch it though, man. They'll go right back to the live shot. It's pretty funny about it. It's not huge, but it looks like the mortgage rates are nowhere near the lowest.
Well, as long as they have the cops there ready to throw the tear gas.
Mark!
Okay.
Best of all, there are never any upfront fees and never any obligation of any kind. So you truly have.
Has he always been bald?
So much to gain by spending just 10 minutes on the phone with one of our There are even open nights and weekends to fit your schedule. So give him a call at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. Or online at AmericanFinancing.com.
Oh, really? Why?
Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows. So when you call 8338-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.75%.
Did you yell?
APR 3.59%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for.
You don't think you want to yell about something, do you?
Hey, you made money on that building.
I said, you don't think Mark would have to yell at somebody.
Oh, okay.
Mortgage experience. Call us today at 8.
I want to see it going on there, the riots. So I got to drive through Denver today.
I told you, you're a man on the street. Bring Doc with you.
Okay.
I'm going to teach you.
This report is sponsored by
It's feeling like summertime this afternoon. Back on about 25 seconds.
I'm one of the Van Buren boys. Yeah. Do they got the same sign as the Van Buren boys?
to help support your workforce needs.
Denver's talk station. Online
Was there?
at khelp.com.
Just according to Seinfeld.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TOM. 713-8255. Any of our deputies have follow-ups? We're going to go to the phones, but we'll come back to you. All right, let's talk to Nancy about Department of Justice. What's going on, Nancy? Bring me up to date on this. You're giving us an update on what?
I talked with Ken before, and he spoke with the individual in New York for me.
Well, tell me what the issue was. I'm not recalling it. What are we talking about? What was the issue?
This was an appraisal on some coins that I sent to
that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
And you sent them away and never got them, never heard anything after that, right?
Right. And well, I heard, but I didn't. They just made promises that they didn't keep. They said they would send them back to me. But I said that they.
Now I remember. Okay, what happened, Ken?
Well, when I called, there were 3 people involved. Each one pointed the finger at the other. It was Ken and Keith and a Mr. Alfano, and each one of them said the other was responsible. So
but they're all with the same group.
Well, it's really complicated about. They say they're not, and anyway, so I told Nancy, since I couldn't get any leeway, any purchase on it, that she should call the Attorney General's office in New York because that's where they're doing business. So tell us what happened, Nancy.
What happened, Nancy?
Okay, in the Attorney General's office in New York, the only number that we could get was a menu number, and it eliminated our situation. We did contact the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Okay, and it claimed it as scams and fraud and elderly abuse because I'm getting up there.
You're at risk. How old are you?
Yes.
How old are you?
82.
Yeah, that would be considered a person at risk. Go ahead.
Okay, and so the fellow that called me back took my information and said that he would be talking with another agent or representative that would be able to guide me to the best sources of help that I could go to. I also talked to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
And they said that it was a civil matter. I would have to get an attorney to take care of help.
Yeah, but hold on. I have a couple more ideas. Hold on. We can do we can go to war, we call it. Deputy Doc, I want to ask a few questions. You called the New York City place, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Did they sound like a bunch of scammers?
Yes.
Okay. And you talked to people. Why did they point the finger within their own organization?
Well, I called up this guy, Ken. He said Keith was responsible. Keith said Mr. Alfano was responsible. When I talked to Alfano...
So do they know where the coins are?
Sounds like
I couldn't get a total runaround.
Okay. Do you have a phone number for them? I think we should put the phone number out and let them know that we're being talked about and we're going to do something about it.
Will do.
Okay, let's do that. I also want to get any social media or websites they have. Let's just bomb them. Let's go to war. So, Nancy, thank you for the update. We're going to try to see if we can get some action this way. How much were those coins worth, do you think, Nancy? Any idea at all? Like, what was your investment in those?
I can't tell you exactly, but from what the Keith said before I sent them, one of the coins was like $2,700. Another one of the coins was like $2,300.
Wow.
The third coin was $800.
Why do you doubt that? Why?
Oh, that third coin, I had my own receipt on that one.
Yeah, but you know what? What was your actual investment in those? Because Deputy Doc is thinking that's an exaggeration. It might be. What was the actual investment you had in those coins? Do you remember?
The one was $800. That's the one I found the receipt for.
Huh, okay. And did you buy them locally?
No. In fact, I thought that this is where I had purchased some of them, but obviously it wasn't.
All right. We're going to get the information from Deputy Doc. You do have it, though, right?
I'll get it on Monday.
Yeah.
I have it at home.
All right. And,
what we do is give this to Mark, the coin guy, our coin guy.
Well, we told her to, but it was too late.
No, she can give what the coins were.
Oh, that's true. We can find out what they're worth.
If she has pictures or any
information.
Nancy,
do you have photos or information on those coins?
I have information, yes.
Okay, if you can give that to DAF, or or do us a favor and leave your information about the store.
I'll get it from her.
And Deputy Doc's okay. Never mind. We'll get a hold of them one way or another. 303-713-TALK.
Man, there's quite the gathering happening downtown, Tom.
Now?
Yeah, right now. I'm watching it live. It's getting big. Quick.
I just hope it doesn't get violent. I agree in the right to protest and demonstrate. Just don't be looting.
Yeah, but yesterday they had gunfire, and oh my goodness, vandalism.
Scott,
gunfire.
You wanted to say something? Is it in light of the protest, Scott? Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Tom. I'd like to say that America's falling apart before our eyes. I don't know where to begin. The coronavirus has destroyed our economy. But the economy was already sick before in the Second Great Depression.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You say the economy... Wait a minute, Scott. The economy you thought was bad before?
Yeah, we're in the Second Great Depression. Don't.
But what? No. Before the corona. Mark. Wait a minute. Before the coronavirus, explain why you believe we were in a depression.
We were in a depression because Wall Street was propped up by the Federal Reserve, which is printing up trillions of dollars of phony fiat currency. And we're going to have hyperinflation coming soon. And the only one that benefited from Wall Street was the 1%, the international.
No, that's not true, Scott. Now listen, I'm not totally.
African Americans, for example, and people from Mexico made more money than ever before.
But Scott,
unemployment the lowest.
Scott, we are talking about better wages. Listen, we had better returns for 401ks and retirement plans, and that's not just the 1%. Don't you agree on that?
No, I don't. Because
anti-Trumper.
Let him talk, Mark. Go ahead, Scott.
This is the story. The economy was sick before the coronavirus is merely a pretext.
But I don't buy that though. That's all. We're not agreeing on that. That's all.
It's a cover to create a one world government, that create a one world religion, one world currency, one world everything for the United States.
Okay, so hold on. So you would be classified as a conspiracy theorist then. You really do believe there is a move. So I think one of the main people in favor of a one world government was Barack Obama, the way he talked. What about you?
Well, one of the biggest people who's behind it is George Soros and the Rothschilds. International Jewelry is behind.
Okay, okay. I get where you're coming from now. You're. Listen, I'm not going to marginalize you, but truly, Scott, you do know this battle cry has been going on for years and years and years and years and years.
If you want to understand what's going on in America, it would take hours.
Call it as you see it.
We don't have the time. Yeah, you need to read a book. Have your listeners read a book called the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion.
Okay. All right.
World plot to control the world. Yeah.
Let's give him his own show.
And who? You know what? Here's the deal, Scott. The reason I'm letting you talk and not interrupting you like Mark is because I believe everyone has a right to be heard. Now, I don't agree with anything you're saying, by the way, and I'm not this vast conspiracy theorist on anything, and I hear where you're going, and we've had several callers over the years with the same battle cry and they all have either a YouTube to watch or a book to read, and they all have their own kind of belief. But I just don't buy it that we are falling apart. I don't think we're doing great, but I think that we're resilient people, and I like to believe that we can deal with things as they come up and that we won't ultimately be destroyed. I do think one of the problems that we have, however, truly, are those people who believe that the government should support them. And I don't know how else to put it. Or that everyone should be the same. There is no sameness. There will never be sameness. It just isn't that way. Now, that doesn't mean that we should take advantage of people, but it also doesn't mean we should hold others back and hold people down, nor should we villainize them for being successful. I like truly that I know this sounds crazy, we all get along and we do the best of our abilities, and then we take care of those who can't, not those who won't, but those who can't. We have more
Listen,
coming
I
up.
agree. I agree that guy's entertaining, but your nut detector must have went off.
Well, Mark, that's yeah, of course. I personally think so. Yes.
Man.
All right, Master Router's coming up first, and then 30 seconds after that.
You got a master router in 30 seconds.
You can somehow get me up.
Denver.
Look, there's more than one guy. These two guys are leaning on it too.
Is this the car yesterday where we ran into him?
No, this is
today.
No, this is a good angle.
A good angle.
Why aren't they on him the whole time? Okay, there. Video appears to show George Floyd on the ground with 3 officers.
Right. But 3 guys holding him down.
Right. Did they throw him down or what?
They're just holding him. This is just a different angle.
But why are they drifting so much on that stupid video?
This guy, Yehudi said he's an anti-Semite.
Who is
he? Is?
This guy.
Oh, the wrong
he said
yeah.
It was international
There's always
Jewry.
that. Always, right.
Right.
Well, he didn't say Jews, did he?
No, he did. He said international Jewry.
Yeah, I thought he meant
Zionism.
I thought he meant jewelry.
No, yeah, you and
oh, I thought he meant jewelry too. I thought it was
He said Jewry. He means
Mark?
He thinks international Jewish conspiracy.
Okay.
Mark?
He's got a
screw him.
He's got a commercial.
Oh, he's on.
I thought it was the exact same thing. I thought it was jewelry.
Jewelry.
I thought it was getting the De Beers diamonds and stuff.
Why do you think they call it jewelry?
Video shows someone deliberately hitting a protester with their car in Denver.
Being what?
Video shows somebody deliberately hitting their car.
We seen that last night. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That driver swerved to hit him.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The guy was on the car.
I know.
He slid off of it, and then the guy, he could have pulled like a wiper loose on it and stuff, you know. Then the guy, he just bumped him, though. It wasn't too bad and stuff. And then there other people were running after the car after that.
Did you see the other thing, this other video I just showed Tom?
No, I was looking at it and stuff. But like I said, my biggest thing on that is, how did it all start? Did they got anything from?
I don't know.
Like, did they throw them on the ground? Did they? This is just crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I really don't.
Well, it just shows there was more than one guy holding him down. So the others should be guilty also.
No, I can see holding him down, handcuffed him.
Yeah.
But then, hey, what do you do when you're handcuffed? Well, you got one coming up. I totally agree, Doc.
SimplyFloorsInc.com. That's a website for Simply Floors Inc. That's INC.com. But that's an independent carpet and floor covering dealer, hardwoods, laminates, LVT, whatever you need. But Buddy and Karen Mitchell do it a different way, and that is they pass savings on to customers. They really do. And they also get the best installers in the business, and they're just good people. You can routinely save 20, 30%, maybe 40, and sometimes even 50%. SimplyFloorsInc.com. That's 303-456-4660. They're at the corner of 52nd and Ward. They do everything safely according to CDC. Make your own appointment in-home at SimplyFloorsInc.com.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Hey, the nut. Did you think he said there was a jewelry? It was international jewelry?
Yes, just like, who's the guy that won $1 billion?
No, it was, Doc clarified it. He was an anti-Semite. He said jewelry. Jewelry. No.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
There's no international jewelry.
Right. It's jewelry. And then he said...
He said there was like an international jewelry heist.
No.
I've never heard the word jewelry.
Jewelry. Here, I'll look. And then he also said Zion.
Right.
I heard Zion.
Zionist.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's a nut.
He's a nut.
But Todd thought he was making sense.
He was what?
You thought he was making sense.
Oh, yeah. Why do you love that guy?
Why did you ask him?
Why did you love that guy?
Why did you ask him to dinner to go over
Why
there?
did you love him?
I'll tell you this,
Hey, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go downtown.
Live shot, Dan. Look at it now. It's like twice, 3 times as big. They're shutting cars down in the middle of the road.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I'm watching it there.
How the fuck do you even drive home with these maniacs?
Look at that one guy got right in front of the pickup.
They're like, turn around. We want to block this road. I'd be like, well, I got to get the fuck home.
I'll be like that guy last night and run your ass over.
I would too.
Yeah.
It says they're headed over to some golf course.
They're just waiting for the dark to happen so they can start robbing stuff.
They're heading over. It says they're heading over to Cherry Creek Golf Club.
Oh, let's get out of here, Tom. Let's cut this.
Well, make sure you give him Tom's address.
They said they heard retired doctors are playing there.
Part of the Great Zion Conspiracy.
Is that in the tech center or is that downtown?
Downtown.
This is downtown. It's right by the Capitol.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I could have seen that from my
It's
office.
not even by the Capitol. It's down by 17th Street, isn't it?
Oh, well, isn't it by Colfax and Lincoln right there? Wasn't that?
It's by the post office building.
Okay. Hey, what are these planes? These are helicopters filming this or this?
Probably.
Why don't they use? Why don't they use drones?
Well, I'll tell you why. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't know why. You're right, though. You wouldn't need a fucking pilot. The camera would actually be better on some of those new ones.
Right.
You wouldn't need a photographer. Jeez, I don't know why. I don't even know why they have helicopters anymore.
I know.
They're fun to fly.
No, really, there's really no reason.
Well, okay, here's a reason for rescue missions for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that aircraft I sent you, the text of, man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Holy shit, they took a Cessna and made it all electric.
I know. It's cool.
Oh, I know why.
If you read the article, the biggest issue was, you know how long they flew it for? 15 minutes.
Oh wait,
Mark, check your email. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. SentryRV.com is up north and out west. So if you go north on I-25 at the 240 turnoff, that exit 240 to Longmont, there's a Sentry RV up there, and they have a service department up there, and new and used RVs. And then out west, just north of 6th Avenue, between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's, you have another beautiful showroom, 32,000 feet. So it's pretty cool. You can get your RV right here with internet pricing. People come from all over the country. SentryRV.com, 303-453-1111. All right, so Tom's got a question about car pricing. And I also see you, Dave, about emissions. We'll get to you. Tom, what did you want to talk about car pricing?
Hey, Tom, real quick. My boss and I were talking the other day about, well, first off, my wife and I are looking for a newer SUV. And we were talking, my boss and I, that he said, and his theory was, and it makes sense, but I just need your opinion, that with the automaker shut down, with these dealers that are full up on inventory, they're not buying anything, that car pricing is not only for new or used, is really going to, be to the buyer's benefit. I just kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on that.
Let's think if it really is.
I can give you real world.
What do you think?
I bought a motorcycle last week, brand new motorcycle, and I paid more for it than I would have paid for it 3 months ago when I got the quote, because Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, none of them are delivering new products to dealers.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
But let's talk and see what Rod Greer thinks over at JFR Cars. What do you think's in store for us as far as car prices go, Rod? What do you think?
Well, Detroit is opening up again, so cars are starting to go through. I was selling a brand new Toyota today, and he was saying they're getting low in inventory, but they still have the incentive. But I guess they're expecting new shipment coming in by next month. So, and that was fresh from the the Toyota.
But what do you think about pricing? What's going to happen?
Do you think he should wait a month?
I don't think so. No, I think it's still. I think you should take advantage of the interest rate. You're getting free money right now. If you can qualify, the interest rate is in most cases 0, and in worst scenario, you're probably at 2.9. I got a customer last week at 2.74 on the on a credit union interest rate. So right now it's the time to buy because there is some incentives out there to buy. Now I think inventory will get low, and then prices will probably go up, especially on the used car, because the new manufacturer on a new car purchase. That's how most of us get our used car, unless I'm buying it from the auction. But they're coming from the big manufacturers, the big stores on the new cars. Well, that's how once those things get low, the used cars become a little bit less and less in inventory.
Hey, Rod, how about all those used cars from, I think it's Hertz or Enterprise? I'm sorry, I forget.
Right,
One of them
right,
going out of
Hertz,
business,
Hertz.
and I heard 500,000 cars.
Right, and they were dumping some of their Corvettes. So I think there's an opportunity there as well. Those are a lot of those are the 19 Corvettes, but there's some great opportunity that will go through once that bankruptcy goes through with Hertz.
Well, thank you. And again, he's right about interest rates and pricing. Also, it's not like did the manufacturers, did they shut down for a while? Are we going to have a shortage of inventory on new cars?
Yeah. Right, they shut down for a while, and again, Ford opened up last Monday, so they'll start catching up as this virus dissipates. So therefore, you'll get more inventory. But if there's
Ford was actually making respirators.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they were for a little while, right? But as this COVID starts fading out, I think prices and the incentives will begin to slow down because they start building more vehicles. And these because what's holding people up right now is the fear. Everybody's holding on their money. You have a lot of people unemployed. So once the fear fades away, I think a lot of people will be a little bit more freer to buy and open up the markets a little bit more.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's JFRCars.com, JFR, Juliet, Foxtrot, Romeo, Cars, JFRCars.com, and that's 303-520-6839. Thank you. Dave wants to talk about
Tom,
emissions.
real quick. I just want people to understand, too, when they do get that 0% financing, they're generally giving up $2,000, $2,500 in money off, so you choose one or the other.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's talk. What's going on with emissions? You wanted to talk about emissions. Dave, what's happening?
Yeah, Tom, I just wanted to comment that the caller that called in and said all they checked was the gas cap is exactly right. The last 2 cars I've taken in, they get in, see if the check engine light is on. If it isn't, they check the gas cap and drive it straight through.
Come on, man. What do you mean the gas cap? What is that checking? What is that?
It checks to see that the cap isn't venting to the atmosphere, that it vents back through the charcoal canister.
That's all they're doing. Come on, man. That's all. They're not checking anything else?
No, it doesn't go on a dyno. They don't look under it. They don't do anything but see that the check engine light lights with the key, and then when you start it, that it goes out. Absolutely all they do. And another thing that upsets me is you can go to Elizabeth, move to Elizabeth. You don't have to go through emissions. There are 64 counties in the state of Colorado. 12 of those have emissions. So
but they're all the big ones.
Well, Elizabeth, you drive from there to work in Denver with a polluting car that does 15, 20 times what a normal car does, and nobody's concerned about it. That's true. But the air that can blow in from a forest fire in New Mexico is bad.
No, I understand.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I mean,
tree huggers.
Yeah, I mean, there is some illogic when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm Tom Martino. We got more coming right up. Get your calls in 303-713-TALK.
Now, impact traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. No major problems on the highway drive around the metro area right now. Just the usual volume flowing on westbound 270.
So, Dan, are you going to head down?
Yeah. I am going to go down pretty quick. But I get off at 6. I get off at 6. 6th Avenue. Let me tell you, when it gets dark, you're going to watch it, you know. Is Park Meadows opening up? I didn't know that. No, you look like a shopper. So that was a no then? Well, then I go to aisle 3 in Sam's. Yeah, one. You get your Twinkies and Pepsi, everybody will be thanking you. Babka. I didn't know they made a cinnamon babka. Yeah. The cinnamon babka does not take second place to the chocolate babka. As he should. You know, I do got to say in Trump, he's got to work with other countries if he wants to go against China. I agree with that also, but it'd be more of an impact, because Australia is no friend of China anymore either. Right. Right. You know what? They keep on saying they want to stick the manufacturing over like in Vietnam or India. Why don't they do it to Central America? No, why don't they do it to Central America?
Maybe because they don't have the facilities.
Make them. Neither did Vietnam. Vietnam didn't have its facilities.
But they do now.
Right, but I mean, people put investment in those countries.
Infrastructure.
But that would help keep the...
Well, maybe because Central America...
Mark, you see your email?
...is so unstable.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Costa Rica is stable. And Belize is stable. That's about it.
Panama.
And Panama.
Wait. There's some more down there.
El Salvador's not. Nicaragua's not. Honduras is not.
Everyone else does.
But wouldn't this help stabilize it, you think?
You never get it done. That's the problem. If you try to invest in Honduras, you never get it done.
Yeah. But look at like Cuba. If they could ever change Cuba the way it was, I mean, that would be a great country to invest in, right?
It would be if they got rid of the communist leadership. If they didn't fuck up the Bay of Pigs.
You know what? That being said, Vietnam is communist.
But Vietnam is a communist capitalistic nation.
Right. But
Cuba's not.
Seriously. Hey, again, Mark, get Ross's podcast and listen to the last 45 minutes.
900. Hold on, I'm doing math here. I'm going to tell you right now what the hell you're doing. Hold on.
Who's doing what?
Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free book and talk to a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose in the market crashes. Call 800-493-1717 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and J.C. Penney use to grow.
I should download this
Free
podcast.
shipping and handling, no credit card required, and I'll send you a free copy of
I spell his name.
Call 800-493-1717.
Ross's last name.
Kaminsky, K-A.
That's
I got it. Jumped right off.
We're back in about 10 seconds.
Then you can hear Ross Kaminsky in the morning, Dan Kaplis in the
Then,
afternoon.
guess what I'm doing? Guess what I'm doing as soon as you leave.
Commercials. Commercials. Oh, yeah? Okay.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Joe, did he already make his emissions comment, or is this a new one?
This is a new one.
Okay, Joe. What's going on, Joe?
Hey, Tom. Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. How about you? What's happening with emissions?
Doing great. Well, I went to have mine done 2 days ago at the location in Sheridan. The gas cap is definitely the first thing they check. However, they do plug their system into your OBD2 connector. And
you mean the computer thing? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. What does that tell them?
It gives them the readings. I guess it's giving them the readings, whatever emissions, but they do not hook it up to the dyno.
Well, that's pretty cool.
They just plug it into your computer and check your gas cap, charge you, and send you on your way.
Huh. Do you think, listen, do you think, it all comes down to this. Is it doing people any good? I think so. Do you think it's helping us or not? Or do you think it's a bunch of crap?
I think it's more of a revenue maker than anything else. I mean, I'm sure it's picking out the bad polluters, but what's the percentage of that? It's not like it used to.
Now with new cars, you're right. But that's why I think they went to only
7 years.
7-year-old cars. Perhaps, though, even that's going to be, less and less important as things go on.
Right.
It really will be. I just think that cars are made better, and it's just one of those things that the benefits of technology. So,
absolutely.
By the way, Joe, what do you think about what's going on in downtown Denver right now? Have you looked?
I think it's pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. I don't see how this is benefiting either side or the family of the victim. I think it's just chaos, and it's pretty ridiculous.
Hey, and they just arrested the cop a couple hours ago. I thought that's what the whole thing was about.
Yeah. Now, Mark, did the other cops? I haven't looked lately. Have the other cops been charged? They sure as hell should. I mean,
no, they should be.
When you look at the other angle, I just saw another angle Deputy Yock showed me from across the street on NBC, and you can clearly see the damn thing being looked at by 4 cops on top of them. They're all on top of him. Oh, no, wait, 3 together. All 3. No, then the 4 was looking, but 3 were on him, right?
Right.
Anyway, it's just a pain in the ass, the whole thing. And I don't know what the protest is doing. If you want to demonstrate for justice, that's one thing. I'm just hoping things don't go into violence, and that's where I think, that's where I think people depart. And they look for excuses to rob and pillage and steal. There was a little looting in Denver last night. I said there was, and apparently, I guess, one store was broken into. I think no matter what your political persuasion, I've not heard anyone trying to defend the police. Did you? Has anyone heard anyone defending the police at this point? No one. So the way it is, if you, by the way, need help, information and referrals, you can call us, remember, at 303-713-TALK. By the way, the Hormone Bros, I got an email. They're still in business, thehormonebros.com. A guy just asked me about BioT. Yes, they're doing BioT. They're doing it safely, of course, and that is thehormonebros.com to find out more about those guys. And BioT, by the way, is a pellet, and it dissolves over time, and it's supposed to be the most natural delivery system. So anything on your your mind, you can always reach us when we're off the air, too, at 303 Martino. And you can leave a message, and we will get back to you. So if you have trouble getting through, just do that. Yes,
I have a 30-second rant. You won't rant? Is anybody else out there tired of these sappy commercials by companies because of the COVID that make you think they really care about you and how you're doing? Every single company is saying, we care about you, we're doing this, we're doing this together.
We're in this together.
It is so sappy and so insecure. I am just sick of it.
I love the way the celebrities are in their billion-dollar mansions or millions of dollars of mansions on the seacoast, and saying, we're in this together. Boo-hoo, I can't wear makeup.
And every commercial is doing that now.
Yeah. And anyway, I'm also tired of. Well, I've always been tired of the Instagram and the posts are just disgusting. I mean, who the hell cares? Everyone is trying to be someone. It is a machine of relevance. Get your fame on Instagram or Twitter. Be someone on YouTube. Everyone wants a piece of that pie. I'm Tom Martino. By the way, we're going to be back here on Monday. Remember to watch us. You can go to referralist.com to find out. Also on Facebook, our referral list on YouTube. And save all your problems for me.
All right, you're clear.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Mark, are you taking off? Mark, are you taking off?
Yeah, what's going on there? Okay, but are you taking off, though?
What do you mean, where am I?
Well, you were talking about
Yeah, you were
heading
taking
out with a
off
bus.
to Washington.
Yeah.
Go to Minnesota.
Go to Minnesota. There's a lot going on in Minneapolis.
Hey, Mark, there is a group of RV parks called Outdoor Resorts. You would love them. Outdoor Resort.
What do? You pay one fee or what?
No. It's just they just own them all over. It's not a membership. It's just Outdoor Resorts.
Do they have pools and shit?
Oh my! Well, you look at them. Just look at them. Outdoor Resorts. Oh my God.
Okay. Everyone, download Ross Kaminsky's podcast from today.
Hey,
You'll
guys,
love it.
have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday, Tom.
See you, Doc.